live, unfortunately. Okay,
Should be
that's
cool.
Okay, got you both up.
knocking on your door.
I knock on my door.
Yeah, I find every time I try to accept through that, it never works. Wait, let me refresh because I can't see you. Where you at, man? Oh, there you are. The very bottom of my list.
Damn.
Both of
Joining.
you are on the bottom of my list. I think it's based off
Based
of
on
when you
viewers.
first. Huh?
It's based on how many viewers.
No, it's based off of how many when the last time that when you first subscribed to them. I think.
What was that noise?
What noise?
Did something happen on our show? Let's.
I haven't
Weird,
muted.
it's not
literally just got hit.
alphabetical.
Oh, it was Fox.
For what?
I was wondering what that noise was.
Oh, thank you, Fox.
No problem.
Thank you, Mecca.
Wait, I thought I
We'll do
I
the
thought I got
hydration.
rid of all that. Wait, what the? Oh, it's because I removed the hydration redeem.
Oh, Mecca, we're doing the podcast today. We removed all redeems, but this is just for today.
It's just a day thing, I promise.
Lies.
But thank you.
You have that podcast thing going? I almost
Mhm.
called you your real name. Fox?
I mean, everyone knows my real name. It doesn't come either way at this point. Yeah, I got.
Yeah, you literally have it on your Kickstarter, my dude.
Dude, they won't let you. Like because they have to. Wait, what? I canceled my quest for a join. What? Okay, never mind. It gave me an error message for nothing. Podcast stream? Yes, we are doing podcast. All right.
All
So-
right. I guess I'm supposed to be hosting this or something.
You are the host today.
Great. All right, wait. Let me do something real quick. Okay. All right. So today's topic, very vague. New technology and innovations. I guess. Are we gonna introduce ourselves? Is that something we're gonna keep doing? Okay. My name's Key. Who is this?
Carbonic
Go.
Acid Studios. What's up?
Oh my god.
And?
I was literally like, what color is this?
Yeah.
Can you say black?
Very good.
Fox?
You not gonna say your name?
I'm Fox Cookie. Yes, Fox is fine though.
Already a dumpster fire.
Already bad. And
Already terrible.
reining it in with Peach.
Cool. I don't know why my ones are good. I just ruined it. Sorry,
Just
I'm back.
ruined it, yeah.
What the heck are you doing?
For some reason my camera was all blurry. Okay,
Oh.
so today's new technology and innovations. I honestly have no idea how this is gonna work. I just wanted to talk about this topic. So I think what it's gonna end up becoming is each of us basically go in like a circle, I guess, and share one new technology or recent innovation. And then we like discuss it and talk about it, blah blah blah, and then we go around another circle. If people have multiple topics, I do not. I was originally thinking, I was thinking I would have two topics, and then I got into this and I wrote like so much about it. And I was like, all right, I think I'm good with just one. But yeah, so that's how it's gonna go. Does anybody want to go first?
I think since you're like the host, I think it would be good if you went first so we could kind of like follow suit on how in depth you go with it.
I
'Cause
mean,
it's
we can
like-
go. We don't have to go in depth at all into, but sure. That yeah. I'll go first. I'll go first. So, my topic is NeuraLink. Do you guys know what that is?
Yep.
Heard of that, yes.
Oh yeah.
So it's for people who don't know, NeuraLink is a brain-computer interface that Elon Musk and his company is creating, where it's basically like a electrode that they surgically implant into your brain And that electrode can then be wirelessly connected to an external device, such as a phone, computer, whatever else has probably Bluetooth or something. And it sounds crazy, but they already have 3 patients, I think, that have already implanted these chips and are making it work. And I guess I'll just go with like the overview and kind of like its current status. But what I think is like interesting and the part that I think would be a lot more of like the discussion base is like the implications of this, like the ethical implications, but then also like the possibilities if this were to continue advancing. So, starting off, I guess, with just like the overview. So, we already said it's like a brain implant, computer, chip, whatever, connected to external devices. Um, and how it works is it's basically just electrodes in the brain. And I don't know if you guys have heard, have you guys heard of those studies that people have done in the past where they have electrodes connected to somebody's brain and then they show an image of like a triangle, a square, or whatever, and then the researcher has to guess what shape the person is looking at based off of the electrical signals?
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Yeah.
You have seen it, Peach? Or
Yes. I watch a lot of like random stuff. I've seen that.
isn't it really cool? It's like
It's
just
so
like
cool.
yeah, and this is just like external little things that are connected. Like it's not even like some major device. It's just like simple electrodes that are
Yeah, it's
connected.
like this thing. It's so
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah, and so this isn't like super new technology. I think it's just like the part that's new about it is that it's like surgically implanted permanently. Um and yeah, there's also another girl on a Twitch streamer actually. What's her name? I wrote it down. Have you guys heard of this girl who plays video games using this?
Yeah, she has I think something's wrong, right? And she can't use her hands or something? Is it the same person I'm thinking
Really?
about?
Oh,
Is this
I
I don't
didn't
know
know
if
that
this is right.
she
I
I
can't remember
didn't
if it's the person, but
maybe
just tell me.
I didn't know if there was a reason or what her story is. I just know I think that she was like a neuroscience major or something and then she's a Twitch streamer and I wrote her name down but I didn't like highlight it and so now I can't
Just
find
looking
it.
up. I might be way off on that.
I think there's
I
a
could have
few
sworn.
streamers that come to my mind that might have
Mhm.
this, but
Okay, I think we're thinking about the same people then.
Let's see. Whatever. Now I can't find her name. But
Alright.
anyway, she's a Twitch streamer and she has this external electrodes that are connected to her head and she plays video games. Like the other day I looked at her most recent videos cuz she streams regularly and she was playing Dune and something else similar with these electrodes. And it's like so cool. And you can see her, she'll like have her hands up here and she'll like kind of have this face like she's like thinking really hard and like she'll like try to she can move her character. I don't know how she connects like the whole electrode part with like how she must connect it to her controller or something. And so she's like must be controlling the controller and that's how the game is able to map it or whatever. But she like thinks like okay, like move to the right and the freaking character moves to the right. And then she has another thing where it's like press the button and it presses the button.
Dude, I've seen clips
So,
of her.
yeah,
I
it's
must be thinking
so
someone
cool.
different.
It's so cool. I wish I could find I wrote too many things and I didn't color code it. um, but yeah, so that's just like one here it is. Twitch streamer Perry Cariel. Perry
Never heard of
Cariel.
it.
Latest
Never seen
games
it.
Do you
Dune
know
and
how to spell
Oblivion.
that?
PERRIKARYAL. I don't know what that name means, but yeah, so that's just like one example of what's currently already out there with an external device. Um, and so with this NeuraLink thing, they're trying to take it like much further than this. The purpose right now is really more for medical purposes. So if there's people who are paralyzed, they can get this Neuralink thing and they can connect to like external limbs or whatever so that they can move the limbs just with their thoughts. And this sounds like really sci-fi, but they already have done this with patients. And I actually, several years ago, I went to it was like a tech, not a conference, it was like a little discussion at like some random place in the city of Atlanta. And they were showcasing this where it was like people connected to electrodes, and then they had the totally like paralyzed people from the neck down, and they were able to like move robotic limbs with their thoughts. It's like so cool.
So it's really
Um,
scary at the same time.
yeah, yeah, it's super cool. And so another potential purpose that they want for this is to help blind people see, which I don't even understand how that would work, because the way that these electrodes are set up, it's more like the electrodes are listening, but like they're listening to brain waves, but they're not necessarily talking to the brain, like making the brain do things, because that would be like really crazy. Although I could see that being a future thing. But they can have it, and I've seen like simulations or representations of what it could look like, and it's like super grainy. Like if it's a picture of a cat, it'll be black and white, super grainy, and it kind of just looks like a lump, but you can see the overall shape of the cat. And so people who are blind, they could be able to walk around their environment and not like trip over things, and maybe like go do whatever you do that you can't otherwise do. Um, so those are like some cool medical things. And now the part that I want to like have a discussion on is the implications of this. There's the girl that plays video games with her brain. There's another dude who like plays chess with the NeuraLink thing. Um, another patient was just like working on the computer, like editing videos, just like being able to live a normal life. But what could this become is scary
exciting.
and amazing. Yeah, it's exciting.
It's kind of scary because like it's exciting for like all the different ways, but I would be so scared to do this because it's major brain surgery, first of all. If
Mhm.
your body freaks out about this and it's a foreign object, it will attack it. If
Yeah.
your body's attacking this foreign object and you get swelling or whatever from this, if you get swelling in your
Mhm.
brain, it starts to leak, you could have spinal problems, which would cause you to literally be in a chair for the rest of your life. So you would need it
Yeah.
anyways. So I'm
Yeah,
like,
you
I
would
don't
need it.
know.
I mean, at least you'd have it.
You'd have it, yeah, but I'm like, bro, I don't know. I don't know if I could ever do that. I don't want to cut my brain up and put something in there.
Mhm.
I'd do it 100%. No questions asked. Look,
Of course,
I'm
yes.
just listen. VR, like full on full dive game, like being able to full dive into a game like Fantasy World, sign me up. 100%. I don't care. That'd be
There's
sick.
Yeah, like
gotta be
Ready
other
Player
ways
One.
to do it. There has to be other ways to do it than like cutting open your brain.
I mean, you have to connect to the brain. I think that those electrodes, like the Twitch streamer girl with just the external diodes, I think that's pretty rudimentary. I'm imagining that this is much more, I guess, sophisticated,
Yeah.
and you can probably be more precise about which brain regions are touched, and have a lot more control over it.
The thing with that is it's not inputting any function into the brain.
Right.
It's doing the
Yeah.
opposite. It's just seeing where
Yeah.
the areas that are lighting up within the brain are.
So that's its current state, like how it's just listening, it's not actually talking to the brain. But their current plan is to restore vision to the blind. And I feel like the only way you can do that is if you actually put
Put it
in,
over, yeah.
right? Like like how else is it going to happen?
You cut out
I
their
don't
eyes
know.
and replace them with robot eyes.
Yeah, that's what we want
I
to do.
mean, maybe.
We want to scare the rest of the population. I wonder if you could do something like, you know how we have headphones and they normally like stick into your ear, but there's certain companies that are making it so they're like on the outside and they sit here but you can still hear. I wonder if they could make it so it would
Oh.
attach like to the sides like we see on like sci-fi
Mhm.
and it could like tap in somehow like
Yeah.
that. I would do that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, right. I mean, solely because you avoid the risk of surgery
Yeah.
and it's not permanent. You can just take it off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would do
Um,
that.
yeah.
Imagine the war implications. That just came to my mind. Being able to control a drone from thousands of
Oh,
miles
yeah.
away and just like a mechanical soldier and just invade, like you lose no human bot, like you just, and depending on the human exoskeleton that you're controlling, that could be scary.
But imagine
Yeah.
if someone takes it with people. They like tap into the people that have it and use them for that. Then we still lose people.
Yeah.
On their own free
Well,
they lose their free will.
That's exactly like what I wrote as like this is like a crazy super possibility. But the thing that Fox said is actually already happening. The
Yeah.
US government is already doing that. They are working on doing brain computer interfaces with soldiers so that they can control drones.
There's actually
And
go
yeah.
ahead.
No, nothing. What were you going to say?
Oh, I was like, there's actually a robot. I think it's in Japan. It's called SE01. They've literally designed this robot to be so human-like. It can run and walk as if it's a person. Like it literally looks, it's so fluid. It looks like it's a person. You like take this technology with those kind of robots, like you're literally unstoppable. You guys should, if you ever
Yeah.
have a chance, you should look up that robot. It's so creepy how human-like it functions.
I'm looking it up right now. Or I'm just looking at a picture. Yeah, they're getting really far along with robotics. Yeah, that's a whole nother topic that I think
Yeah.
is super cool. That was actually going to be one of my second topics,
It was
probably.
gonna be one of mine too. That's because I
Yeah.
had thought about that, but I changed that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
how much further down the line of technology is it going to be until we just have ads running in our vision? You're just going to be at
Yo,
work
I
and
would
then just like,
cancel.
and then you'll just be like doing work and then across your vision, Raid Shadow Legends, like God,
They would still be in business.
they
It's
would
like,
still be in business.
it's like it's like Kraft mayonnaise, and you're like, damn, I need to go to the store, and you start like ordering shit.
That's exactly what
99.9%
they
of
do.
dentists recommend this, but I don't care.
And then they have like a thing where it's like check your teeth, and then they have this thing where you can check like your teeth so you can get better. Like they fake you out. That shit's so stupid.
No, but I mean, that's like totally what would happen. I think that we would absolutely start having advertisements. Like we would totally do it, and people would agree to it too. It's like, okay, maybe you get like a free access to, like maybe you have the NeuraLink and you have to pay for it, but then like some kind of an additional software that you get that is somehow helpful. Like, okay, I'll just accept an ad so that I can help myself do this other thing. And then it'll just become this whole like wealth disparity gap in terms of like like people could then just pay the subscription rather than watching the advertisements, right?
Yeah.
Versus the people who can't pay the subscription, they're just constantly going to be bombarded with advertisement after advertisement in their own fucking brain. So, yeah.
Yo, digital
Um
monkeys, man.
Would you like 100% of your vision back? $59.99 a month.
yeah, exactly.
That's
Just
literally.
your vision's just cluttered with ads, and you're like, God, I can't see shit.
Mhm.
I wouldn't pay. I'll be like I am now. I won't pay for that shit. I'll just sit through it. I don't care. I'll watch
Like-
a minute 30 ad. You're not getting my extra $5.
And we probably all would, because there's like this. The more I thought about it, the more I thought that this is the tunnel to the future. Because, like, just imagine all of those movies and shows with these brain computer interfaces, like Cyberpunk, like, I don't even know, I can't think of anything right now, but like, they're like all these things where you just like click the button and it's like, okay, like take me to this destination, and then it like shows you on the path, and it would be, and then mix that with ChatGPT and the how advanced that could potentially get. We'd have like Iron Man's Jarvis, and it would just be like connected, and it would just be like our thing that we have that we can talk to and that it can tell us things. And yeah, but then also I think something that the US government is wanting this tech for is communications across soldiers. And although that's something that the government wants, it also would be really cool in that we could do like mental telepathy. So like
Get-
having a cell
Get the
phone.
fuck out of my head, bro.
I would not
Hell
want that.
no.
Take it away.
I would go to jail. I would actually go to jail if people could do that.
For Fox draws the line.
Yep.
You don't want to see anything
Yeah.
that any of us have to say. We would literally all be in jail. I think.
Yeah.
If my thoughts are being broadcasted, I will take myself to jail because I don't want to. Before it gets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's too ugly. It's too bad. The shit I think on daily basis. No.
Yeah.
No.
But then, like, I don't know. I mean, if there's a way for them to be able to harness like the conscious thoughts rather than or not even like, if you could filter what thoughts are that come out of the device.
I mean, I think the whole idea of thoughts is that they're not filtered, you know? Like, thoughts just come to your head.
No, but like the filter through the phone call or the mental telepathy.
Yeah.
I
It's-
already
Yeah, I don't
hate,
know if it's possible.
Oh, I hate this shit, bro.
I already
Sign
hate
me
getting phone calls.
Yeah.
Imagine.
I-
No.
No. Have you
I
guys
mean, you
ever
don't have to answer.
You don't have to answer. You could just be like, click. But then we would know what you were doing because we would just telepathically look at you ignoring us.
Yeah.
Like, that's so, it's like
Like
stupid.
someone's just staring at me, calling me. Just I see
I would
you.
be scared. I feel like this technology could like lead into like a mass obesity though. Like
Oh yeah.
have you ever seen that movie WALL-E? We put this shit in our head and
Yeah.
we're teleporting
That
everywhere.
movie.
We're just sitting in chairs, moving ourselves around. Nobody would work out ever because we don't have to do anything. We can just go into our minds and see shit. We would just
We're
be
already kind of
WALL-E.
doing that though. We're kind of doing that. Like as a society, we're getting closer and closer to just sitting from 9 to 5 in front of our computers. And then once we're done with our 9 to 5, we go and we like sit and watch TV and then we go to bed.
But we still go out and do stuff. At least now we do.
Well, we choose to.
Yeah.
But you can order things to come to your house. You don't have to go to the grocery store. You can do microwavable dinners. You have a robot in your kitchen, aka dishwasher. We have Roombas for the vacuum. Like, we are kind of Wall-E right now.
You have Roombas?
So
I don't have a Roomba, but I want one.
My
we're
parents have
kind of like
Roombas.
Wally in that way, and like yeah, what's the obesity rate right now?
True.
I want to say in America it's probably
We're
like
getting there.
40%. I think in
Just
America it's like
a little
40%.
bit more
Yeah.
automation, then we'll be there.
just a tad
Just a little
more.
bit. We just get those really cool chairs
Yeah.
that they have in Wally, and we'll be 100% there.
Yeah.
But what
Yo,
if
I
you
was
could-
actually dead
Why would
on.
why would I walk anywhere?
I'm dead
dead.
on. It's literally 40%
That's crazy.
in America.
Is it 40% obesity?
40%
Like this is not
obesity.
even overweight. This is just
No, this
obesity.
is obesity.
But
Yeah.
Okay.
what if we got to the point where you could buy turning your like automating yourself doing something like, oh, I want to be fit and look like really good.
Whoa.
But so like you buy like a workout plan and your
Oh,
body just
shit.
does it, and that would
Oh,
be
shit.
so like people who were still lazy as shit could like have these nice like $59.99 a month, like workout plan.
Oh, like it
so
just takes
funny.
everything out of your body and forces you to do it, whether you want to or not.
Yeah, you're just like, and
That
so
sounds
you like
You
you
know
could,
how
like,
many? No, you know how many No, fuck that. You know how many lawsuits we would have in the world? People are suing right now because their chicken nuggets are cold, bruh. You don't think somebody's gonna sue because this computer dislink to them? Nobody would do that. There's no way.
that'd be
I
because
would
you
sue the
could be
shit
like
out of
you could be like sleeping, just like you're taking a nap and
Yeah, you would sue. You'd be like, that was without my consent.
I mean,
Still
to be
wake up.
honest, the marketability for that would be very high.
Oh,
If
yeah.
they
Oh,
could
yeah.
create that, make that happen, the marketability would be there. People would want that.
I think a
I think
huge
you're right. It would be.
Mhm.
Yeah, it would be huge, but like at the same time, the major caveat is that like we're talking about something that's much more advanced. Like right now, it's just the electrodes show what the brain is thinking basically at a very rudimentary level. But the thing with like making the body work out or even just like immersing yourself similarly to like Ready Player One, where it's like that video game magic world, that's still like the computer feeding in, and I don't think they're there yet. But I feel like that's where like all the cool stuff comes out,
Yeah.
when you can put things in. You have the workout. You have like, have you guys seen the movie Limitless?
No.
It's a series, right? With Chris.
I think
Oh.
I thought this was a movie
So
where you take the pill. Was it the pill?
Yeah. So there's a movie Limitless where you take the pill, which is the one that I'm talking about. But there is also a Chris Hemsworth Limitless series where he's like doing health
Okay.
hacks or something.
Yeah. Okay.
But
Wait,
there's
which one are you talking
Limitless.
about? You're talking about mine, right?
Yes, I'm talking about
Okay.
Limitless with the pill, and it's Bradley Cooper. He's the star of the movie. But it's basically like a super brain. Like this guy takes a pill, and because he takes this pill, he's able to listen to one Spanish course, and all of a sudden he's super fluent in Spanish just with like 1 hour. Like he goes on a run, he listens to this 1 hour podcast, and then all of a sudden he knows Spanish, or like he can be, he's basically like a supercomputer brain, but 10 times more than what our brain already can do. But like this could have that potential where it could throw skills and knowledge into your brain, and you would just know things. It would be like the entire internet could just go into your brain. And then just like imagine a world where every human has this, and everybody is at like level 200 IQ, supercomputers to the max. Like our world would be so advanced, but it would also like probably move and evolve so much faster than it currently is. I imagine it like, I don't know if you've seen those like representations. It's like in a cartoon where it would be like a city being built, and then there's a
Oh
war,
yeah.
it's destroyed, and then it's built up again. I feel like that's what we would have, where we would grow, total mass destruction, grow again, all in like 10 years or something, rather than like 1,000. Like the time scale would be shrinked. I don't know. I just feel like this. That's what I was saying earlier. Like tunnel to the future.
I like that idea, but that's like a utopian society. The way like our world works, we wouldn't all have access to this stuff. You
Oh
would
yeah.
have the super rich would have the highest form of technology, and all of the poor people would be put in some sort of section where they are literally like archaic, where they have the stuff we have, and then eventually stuff would get better, and then the stuff would trickle
Right.
down to the rest of us. There's be no way we'd all be like that.
Yeah.
Oh
Well,
yeah.
that's basing it off of society today, but we don't know what all
Yeah.
the technology is going to do for us in the future. Maybe we don't have like lower class in the future based on us creating agriculture automatically. People
Mm.
just get the food they need without the um, without having to pay for anything. But like
Yeah.
that's of course not even thinkable at this point because of how far in the future that would possibly be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I would love to envision that, but I'm just like basing
Mhm.
it off of how our society has always been. Even with the advances, there's still that class that is always
Yeah.
down there and don't
Yes,
have
but
access to
it's not
stuff.
as big as the disparities it used to be
That is
back
true.
in the medieval
Yeah.
days, you know,
True.
where people were literally starving to death. We don't have that problem in the US.
In
I
the
mean, I'm
US.
starving now, so
I hope not. Human greed never seems to surprise me anymore. It's just like we would charge people for stuff that is free to us. That is how bad. Like even if I could imagine agriculture being completely free, but they never tell that to the public. They're just like, oh, man, it's so fucking hard to make this. Whew. God damn, that'll be
yeah.
$5 for the apple. But like that's how I imagine human society working. It's just like it is human nature to want to be above others. So like even if we had all this technology and all this free agriculture and all this stuff, I don't know. I personally feel like the people who are up there would try to stay up there, but slowly over time, hopefully, like us down here would be like, hey, I know that shit's free. No.
Yeah. Like
I
Ready
wanna
Player One, if you've seen that. That's exactly what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
All the
exactly.
poor people were in the built up vertical
Yeah.
buildings.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna equate this to like technology we currently have today that you wouldn't think that everybody would have, like a cell phone. Like even people who are super poor
True.
still have cell phones.
True. Yeah, cell phones are crazy technology that we totally just
But
think it's normal, commonplace.
but
But
back in the day, having a BlackBerry was
Yeah.
very rare for people to have. Remember how like
Yep.
fancy
Yeah.
that was to have one of those little BlackBerry things? But
My dad-
nowadays, we have our technology far surpasses that in terms of phone than it ever has. Like the BlackBerry would look like a freaking toy compared to the cell phones we have
yeah,
today. And so everyone has.
yeah.
Everybody has a smartphone.
Yes. True. This
This
is
is
true.
true.
But okay, but we don't know the percentage of people that have like this type of phone versus the shitty flip phone still paying minutes. Because I still know someone that's paying minutes on their phone. Like
I think
because they don't
I
have this type of
I think majority in the US
in the
have
US.
a smartphone.
Yeah.
Outside of the US, that's totally different. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, no, I mean, there's definitely a lot of negative consequences. We've already actually seen a kind of a fucked up negative consequence with this. So NeuraLink is not the first of its kind. There was actually other iterations of other companies that attempted and basically failed. And this one company, I think like a decade ago, they surgically implanted a brain computer interface into some dude's head. I guess multiple people's heads. Time went on, the company went bankrupt. So they like totally dispersed, they're gone. But this guy still has this thing in his head. And so when it stopped working, there's nobody to fix
Oh
it.
God.
And this already happened. So like imagine like how if it becomes like really ingrained in society and then like this chip no longer works. Now all of a sudden like you're fucked.
Yo, that's like that. Have you guys ever heard of that system? It's a medical device that breathed for people who got polio back in the day. It was this huge like tunnel thing,
Yes, the
and when you
iron
got
lung.
sickly, the iron
Iron
lung,
lung,
yeah.
yeah.
Literally, because they came up with like different. That's the same thing. They came up with a bunch of different medications and stuff for polio, and like you had people that were still stuck in here because they didn't get that medication, and the people that know how to fix their things literally were ancient and like there was no way to fix it. The last guy that just recently died that had it, he had to have some guy who like did a workaround to fix it because he had knowledge of a different like area of expertise. Like that would be so scary to me to know that I have the last of my
Mhm.
kind and nobody can fix me.
Yeah. Yeah. And that would potentially be a problem. I mean, yeah, there's so many problems. I feel like we already talked about a few of them, like the whole idea of your brain getting hacked. Like, what if there's a terrorist that goes and like let's say it gets to the point where this brain thing can make you do workouts. That means that it can control your body movements. And so, what if a terrorist goes, it mass controls every human in the U.S. and it's just like, all right, you guys jump into the fucking ocean, you know,
Oh yeah.
and probably so many worse things that you could do. Like it could be like they could control us to be their army and like kill other humans in the some other country, you know? Like there's so many hazards, but there's also so many amazing benefits that I think everybody would probably take it despite the major hazards. Similar to a car. Like cars are dangerous as hell, but everybody drives them. And I
Yeah.
think that this Neuralink thing, people would do it too.
I
But
agree.
currently, as I am now, I wouldn't.
I would.
Too
Some-
much.
Sometimes
I
you
would
gotta
let
risk it.
technology get more advanced beforehand.
Yeah, that's
I
what I'm
would
saying.
not
I'm on
be
the
the
side of
test
fun.
dummy for this.
I'm
freaking
not gonna
thing.
be the test. Yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna be that. I've seen like surgery, like what needing and doing like spinal surgery can do to your body. I'm good until that shit's more advanced.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a good thing we have people like Fox to test it for us.
Yeah, true. When you're like old and crotchety and you're like, can you push me on a wheelchair? I'll be like, no. Get your NeuraLink move you?
Damn it.
Yes.
Yeah, I will. He'll be pushing us around.
In his wheelchair.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I definitely wrote a bunch of different things that some of which are total long shots. One not so long shot are like the medical implications of being able to have a much better idea of the brain's current state. So like we don't really know anything about the brain. Like the brain is such a mystery. We didn't really start studying it until very recently in human history. And so it's such a mystery. But if we have these electrodes that are constantly like kind of emitting signals of like, here's the brain's current state in this millisecond, and then here's the current state in this second millisecond, I think that we like our advancement of medicine would really improve, specifically neurological medicine, which I think would be really awesome. Another crazy, this is a crazy idea, but also very possible, and that is superpowers.
I was
Like
just thinking
literal
that.
actual superpowers. Like for
Those
real.
big-
So like okay. Yeah, like this Neuralink thing. It can make paralyzed people move. It can make blind people see. What if you connect it to some other sense? For example, sensing magnetic fields or seeing infrared or whatever other thing. Like now all of a sudden, those are literal superpowers. It's not like you don't it's not like it was developed naturally or whatever. It's external, more like Tony Stark, I guess. But those are superpowers. And that's totally possible.
Sign me up.
And then final crazy idea is, you know how we said mental telepathy, we could talk to each other.
Yep.
Well, if we got like really crazy, if our society crashed and burned 10 times over and then we finally became these like super beings, we could have like a shared human consciousness.
A hive mind? Oh my god.
We'd be, what are those things on Star Trek called? We'd be those. I'm good.
We'd have
Dude, I mean, it's possible.
Hell no. They have one queen who tells them what to do. Hell
Yeah,
no.
No, fuck
You could
that.
be the queen, Peach.
No. You.
We'd have
No.
we'd
Society would be
eventually-
fucked if I was a queen.
we'd
Like how
eventually
she
turn
just-
into the
That
flood.
is a good thing. So she was
What?
like,
Shared
we
human
can think
consciousness?
all the same.
He's like, he's like,
okay,
I can know what you guys are thinking all the time.
He was really excited about that.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah, I
I
think-
want none of that. Keep that hive mind
Men
away
and-
from
no.
me.
Men and women would kill each other if we could do this. There's no way. We could not do this.
I think it would be similar to like we each have our individual thoughts, but would be so in sync, similar to birds that are in a flock together and are flying together. One bird turns to the right. The other bird doesn't have to turn to the right, but because it sees its friends turning to the right, it kind of goes with it. So it just creates this like being as it flows together, even though they're individuals and they have their own individual thoughts.
No,
No,
Hey, have
Key.
you ever watched Starship Troopers?
No, look up
No.
Borg. You need to look up the Borg, girl. We would be a hive mind controlled by one person. We would not be individuals. There would be a story written on one of us who escaped the Borg hive mind and became an individual. We cannot.
I mean, this has been like a repeat thing in multiple different.
Yes. We
Yep.
can't do that.
It's never been a good thing. But
Have you ever played Halo? The flood.
Yes.
That's what happened to the
The
flood.
hive,
That's what happened to the flood. No.
Yes, Frost. Sorry, 7 of 9. That's what I'm talking about. 7 of 9. Don't do this to us. Key's trying to kill us over here. Key's giving them ideas.
yeah, she's real excited about this too. She's
I
like,
think
we
it's
can
so
all
cool.
think
No.
the same.
If we all thought the same, I would make you guys dress like I dress. You would not be fun.
What
I
makes you
want none
think
of
you're gonna be
this.
the
I want
queen?
none of this.
I would take over. I would retaliate for one day, so everybody was like me. And then I go back to being.
I don't know.
everybody else,
I think it's really cool.
Uh-huh.
We could
Yeah.
also, I mean, if we're talking about consciousness, we could also potentially back up our consciousness into a computer, and then all of a sudden you have immortality.
Nope. I want none of it. I don't.
I mean,
I want.
yeah.
When I die, I want to die. Goodbye. It's been good, but I'll see you later. I want
I think
no
those are
part of
all the
immortality.
crazier.
I
What were you saying?
Instead of downloading your conscious in there, give you a different experience throughout. You know, you can change it however you like, right?
Yeah. You can change your memories.
Mm-mm.
What if you could?
Since you want to die so bad, Fox, you could die over and
I don't-
over. That
I
could
don't
be
wanna
your.
die. I'm just saying, like, I don't want to live forever. I want no part of that. I feel like
If we,
good.
go ahead.
Like, look at every story. Like, every being that's like lived for a long time, they all end up the same. Which I don't want. I don't want it.
If we have a hive mind, you live forever in our thoughts.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Thoughts and prayers
Yeah,
becomes Fox. Like,
Yeah.
Or it could
Nope.
be super dystopian. I don't know if you guys have seen the commercial for, I think it's called Mickey 77 with Robert Pattinson. I haven't actually watched the movie. It super recently came out, and I don't know if this has how it works at all because I haven't seen it. But it's the guy. He's basically a soldier or some kind of government property prisoner. I don't know what, but he lives he's works for some entity, does things for them, and then he gets killed in action, and then they just bring him back to life. And he just has to keep dying back to life, dying back to life. I don't know how it works at all, but like this is like if you could do a download of your brain into a computer, you could just keep going back and forth, back and forth.
But at what point
It would
is it
probably be
really
pretty
not
cool.
you
Oh,
anymore?
no.
Like, like, do you like the first time you die? Technically, you move on, and the thing taking your place is just your memories, right? Like, at what point do you?
I mean, your memories make the person, right? Like,
Yeah,
if
but,
I
like-
transfer my brain to a robot, I would say that would be me, not the carcass that's left on the ground.
I think
Yeah, but
so
like
too.
what
I
about like
think
the
that would be
soul, right?
you.
Like if soul, if we're thinking hypothetically like souls, you move on, blah blah, anything like that. At what point? Actually, there was a show I watched with the same kind of problem because immortal people, if you got your head cut off, like it was pretty much your version of dying because your old head would disintegrate and your new head would grow, and so technically that old you died and new you took over.
I don't believe in souls.
I mean, well, okay,
you
so let's say
I don't believe in souls.
you have your body. And if you didn't have if your brain didn't have your body, then you die because your brain needs energy. That's kind of the whole purpose of the body, is to just give your brain energy. So let's say, hypothetically speaking, that your brain could sustain itself. Maybe it has some kind of like nuclear fusion core, whatever external battery that makes it continue living, no other considerations. If you took your body, put it in a vat of acid, it disintegrated every part of you except for your brain and your like neurons leading into your different body parts. What if you took that and then put it into a new bucket, but this bucket filled you back up, all of your skin, your organs, and everything. It like builds back up onto your brain, nerve, spinal cord that you brought from your acid body. Are you still you?
Well, Key, the part you're missing that Fox was talking about is Fox believes in souls.
But I'm
So
saying I think your soul is in your brain. I think that so like your brain and your neurons throughout your body. So if you're taking all of that with you and you're simply putting new skin on, a new organ, like isn't that still your soul?
Like what I'm saying is like, let's say we took like I'm able to download my memories and I slam it into a robot. That robot is now me, but I'm also me. But if I die, like the conscious me is dead, right? But there's still a me there, but the me that I feel like I am, that I'm controlling right now, is dead, right? Like I have
so
I,
so just to change it a little bit, if it was a brain and was transferred to another body, would you believe that would still be you?
I guess because it's still yeah, yeah, I'd say that. I'd say so if it's still like yeah. I just think like if you're downloading memories and putting it into something else, I think that I don't know if that's you still.
But what if you download the brain exactly how the brain is functions? Like everything in the brain is just chemical functions. That's
Right, like you just put it in the acid, and then you put it in another bucket with the skin.
Every time you tell that story, I don't think you should be a scientist. I
Yeah,
don't
I'm
want-
like, what kind of Walt Disney shit is this,
Okay.
bro?
what if we transfer the brain into a younger body every time it gets old?
I still think that's you, but the part that I'm just like
Is the
'cause
brain itself, and it's the separation into the computer itself.
yeah, because I feel like because if there's two yous existing, you as a person don't control both at the same time, right? So if you die, your vision, your life that you're currently living out is gone, right? Like you are dead.
Duplicate. You would be a clone. Like you.
I think I'm with Fox on this one, actually. Yeah, I think it's just another thing that's identifying as you because it has all the memories and
Exactly.
the things of when you were alive, as opposed to it being your actual brain. I think that would actually be you.
I think it would also actually be you you would have two views, but you wouldn't be able to sense the other anymore. So you would feel like an individual. And as you continue to live your life as this clone, you would develop new memories, new experiences, and so you become less and less similar, more and more individual. It's human reproduction.
You would not feel like an individual. That other thing sitting across from you that looks like you looks like an individual.
Yeah, but like
Like,
E, what
feel
I'm,
like an individual.
but what happens to the original you? Like the you, let's say we take all your memories and make a new body and slam your memories into that body. But the you that I'm talking to currently dies, right? But the other one is still there. You as an individual, this person I'm talking to has passed on. Even if that other one goes and creates new memories and becomes a different person and individuality, the you I have become friends with is dead, right? Like your senses have died and you have whatever happens after death has happened, right? So
Maybe
like
I'm still, what if I'm still alive? Like
how?
we could download the brain into a computer while also maintaining your own brain, as long as you just like program it with the exact same neurobiology.
You're right, Anthony. This is a ship of Theseus kind of argument. So you guys know what ship of Theseus is,
No,
right?
what is that?
It's basically a boat that got all of its parts that replaced with other parts, and it's whether that boat is still the same boat.
We
you know?
still have our brain though, and the neurons connected
Yeah.
to it.
Okay.
So it's like the core of the ship is still there,
Well,
but yeah.
what
But,
you were
okay,
talking
whoa,
about-
whoa, whoa,
what you were
wait,
talking.
wait.
Okay.
Don't we replenish our skin cells like every 7 years?
You're
Don't
talking
we
about- we're talking about
replace
outer
our
cells.
muscles
Well, you're
and
talking-
We
everything
don't
every few years?
molt like freaking snakes, girl. You don't see a flesh of you somewhere out in the streets.
What? Actually, we do. We do.
No,
Actually.
no, no.
Okay,
You don't
be
see
going like
skin
this
of
right
me in the road. I'm not seeing a skin of a whole
It's not
skin of me.
visible. It's not we shed skin. That's not what she's saying. But we do cycle through skin.
I know we cycle.
We just don't do it the same way as reptiles.
It's not.
I know I do.
It's not as like at the same time. It's
Yeah, it's not as at the same.
gradual and happens all the time.
Imagine your kid waking you up in the middle of the night, Mom, I'm molted.
We think it's normal.
That's not the.
Oh,
I mean, there's gonna be skin cells. If you look at your floor, your skin cells
yeah,
all over your
yeah, the
all
bottom
over
of
the
a chip
floor.
bag.
everywhere. You're shedding all the time. But
Yeah.
that's not what we're talking. The thing is, the difference between what you were talking about with the brain and what you said earlier is download the consciousness into a computer and then put that information into something else.
Yes.
No, that is not going to be you anymore.
I think it's still you. I think
You're-
it's still you.
Your brain is not there anymore. You're not going to be
It
able to
is, though.
see through that robot's eyes.
Exactly. You'd be a clone of you, but you're still you. Like you're
That-
not
that would be
connected.
a clone of
Like
you, yeah.
let's say let's say you had two consciousness. You
Okay.
downloaded into a different computer. Let's say that computer was wirelessly connected to your eyeballs, to your pain receptors on your body, to any other sensation that you feel. That would be like you would basically just be yourself, except like bigger.
Key, is a twin you?
I have wondered this. Actually.
All right, we're cooked. We're done.
All right, end of discussion. I'm good. Thank you very much.
Oh my god, we're gonna have so many mad twins in chat.
I think it's possible that twins genuinely are themselves, but because their senses are not connected, they feel like individuals. And in the end, they're not together 24/7. They're not conjoined. So they are going to develop different experiences, different memories. And so they're going to become more and more dissimilar.
What if they hang out together all the time? Because like I actually know a lot of twins, and from what I get, the personalities of the twins that I met when I was,
Mhm.
via my bliss, is that their personalities are very similar.
Yes.
Because most of your a lot of your personality, about like half, I guess, is genetically coded.
Yes. That's why I wonder if they are the same person, but just with different sensations.
Okay, that's the part where I am not on board with what you're saying. Those are definitely two different people.
I think I'm a little biased because I think it's possible that all of us as humans, as animals, as plants, as any atom on this planet are interconnected. So I think I am biased, and that's
Yeah.
one of the reasons why I may believe that twins are the
That
same.
twins are the same. There are arguments to support Key saying that twins are the same. Like there are documented cases of twins that have been like separated at birth who were like they had no idea who each other were. The families named them the same. They married the same woman, divorced, married another woman with the same name, and their dog was named the exact same thing. There are literally cases of this shit that happens. I think like one of the most
know.
famous ones is the Jim twins. So there are arguments for what he's saying, but I don't
Yes.
Well,
yes.
that's what I was saying
Same
earlier.
person.
Like you have genetic similar, like your genetics are going to be like almost like exactly the same,
Yeah.
right? So I was making, I was agreeing with the fact that yes, being a twin gives you the genetics, which behavior is influenced by genetics to a pretty high degree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what I'm disagreeing is the fact that they're both the same person.
Well, they're not, because it's all about nature versus nurture. Like when it comes to twin studies, when they're trying to see what are the impacts of this external event that occurs onto somebody else, they look at twin studies and they see, okay, if you have your exact same genetics, but one person exposed to this other person is exposed to something else, what is the outcome? And they're able to use that to say, okay, excluding nature, excluding genetics, this is the sole impact of whatever the external factor is. So, like, I don't know. Casey, I see you. This is super interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay. I think I have taken up enough discussion.
Canceled over here, bro.
I was saying great things. I don't know what you're talking
Who
about.
you popcorning to?
I'm scared to popcorn to you, so I'm gonna popcorn over to Peach.
You really want to save me for like the last minute warming up?
Yeah, so that we can like hit the end now button as soon as you
No,
start talking.
Let's go. Why don't we go to Fox so we can do Guy Girl?
Huh?
Okay.
Oh. Mine's pretty simple. I was studying up on the new technology it's sort of new, the hologram fans, if anyone here has seen anything on those. It's pretty much just a fan that spins really fast, and it has like hundreds of individual LED lights on each blade, and so it's a hologram that it looks like it's right in front of you, but it's just a fan projecting a hologram in front of it, and it's actually publicly available for $1,000. You can get a fan that'll project a image into your house, and people are using it for like advertisements for like businesses and stuff.
Oh.
What is
Yeah,
that called?
Where is it?
Just
it's a
look up
hologram
hologram fan.
and there's
Yeah.
so you can buy an individual fan, or you can buy a wall looking thing where you can slot
Whoa.
multiple fans so you can get bigger, more intricate
Whoa.
holograms.
My God, this one is so expensive.
Yeah, it's the newest model is the Super B Holo F6.5. It costs only $1,000, and you connect to it with your phone with an app, and you can just play any kind of image. It could be like a GIF, it's just a plain old like what a PNG image. But I've seen stuff move and swim across. You can make the image spin if you want. And a lot of businesses are or like higher end businesses are using it to like display their products or ads. Like you walk in and they're like, "Hey, look at this hamburger just floating in front of you, super cool." And I saw some dude take it apart, and it looks super easy. Like if your fans get damaged or something, each individual blade just slides off. You can replace the blade super quick and easy. And honestly, I thought when I was looking at it, the biggest issue with this product would be how power hungry it is, right? How much wattage? How much is my electricity bill going to go up? And it's actually less electricity, not even half, than your microwave. Like, it's super power efficient, which is crazy. And they've already made smaller versions for your computer. You know, your computer fans? I've seen smaller ones you can get right now for $40 that go in your computer, and they can little hologram running around in your computer, which is
In your computer?
In your computer.
Oh,
Oh,
like
so it's
in
like
your
dancing on the-
Yeah. Like the one I was watching, this dude, he had like a Magikarp swimming in his computer, because he has all of these little
Oh,
PC
wow.
fans running in it, and they're $40 each. That's crazy. But like, there's a lot of issues with the first generation one for the computer. It runs
Mhm.
weird and it's really loud. So the generation two, um, the generation two one is gonna be supposedly a little bit better. But honestly, the more I studied on this, the more like, what are the implications for this? Like, how cool, like, because those holograms already look really freaking good if you look at the hologram fan. Like, how fast is this going to progress to the point where like we have some crazy hologram stuff? Because I've seen some like sci-fi stuff where we're able to send like, you're tricking people out with holograms, like there's a real hologram person sitting in your face talking to you. At what point do we
Oh,
have like
yeah.
at what point do we have like hologram chat GPT just walk into my room and like, yo, what's
Whoa.
up? Like, how's it going? I'm like, fuck.
Whoa, that would be so cool. I think people would initially just use it for decoration, but it could totally have much more of a functionality, like you're saying with ChatGPT and connecting it to something similar like that. I wonder how that would have to like we would have to change the architecture of our homes, right? If we're gonna have like fans everywhere and
It's super, like, you can slide it in and out. It's honestly, it honestly looks like it takes less space than even a green screen. I've had a green screen before. I hated it. I could just roll this back into my closet when I'm done. But like, imagine me being able to just like, behind me is a fan displaying like my Lightstone character standing behind me or some shit, or
yeah.
like whatever you wanted, just like talking to you behind you. I was like, what are the stream
Mhm.
implications? Imagine being able to have like a redeem on your stream where like that jump scare like actually happened on like the
Oh
hologram
god.
fan behind me. Like,
That
That'd
would
be
be
so
cool.
funny.
but that's
And
doable
then
right now. Like, I could already do that if I wanted to. Do what?
What was I saying?
I was just gonna say, and then going future, like future, we talk about like having like full on like media being presented through these
Yeah.
Yep.
3D type models. Like imagine watching a movie in like
Wow.
3D where you can like walk around this like whole
Whoa.
scenario or whatever.
Yep.
Maybe you have like a whole table that's like a 3D projection.
That would be so cool. Because like we have VR now, but like it makes you feel dizzy because you're in the goggles.
Yep.
But if you have it like actually in your environment, not only is that so much more fulfilling in that you can do it, like it's like much more sociable where you can do with other people,
Yeah.
everybody's in the same place, but you also wouldn't get the like the seasickness or whatever it's called, motion sickness.
Seasickness.
Motion sickness.
Motion sickness.
Seasickness
Portland.
inside. Yeah, I get it. Oh, man.
Apparently, you can already
Man.
watch movies on the fans. I was watching a dude watch
What?
it. Like, yeah, you can display you can use these fans as your computer screen. So your entire computer screen is just a hologram in front of you, which is
Sure,
insane.
but it's like flat. It's
Yeah.
still like a
Yeah.
flat visual. It's not like
Yeah.
Well,
understand.
you could maybe do
Yeah, you
Yeah,
can.
I
you
get
could probably
you can-
expand it. It would
But
be
that-
like the computer box that you were saying earlier, except like you would just have to have all. It would be like 4-dimensional, like the old school TVs, except you're seeing it on
Yeah,
the inside.
it'd still be you watching it off of a flat surface. It's not like
Well, it sounds like you can have it like you have the fan in the back, and then you could have additional fans projecting outwards, and that's what actually makes it 3D.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait. Yes. So then, what are you
I
saying?
mean, it's already 3D.
yeah, because the fans are like.
What I was saying is, yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
they're-
Continue,
no,
Fox.
no. Yeah, they're projecting the image. That's all I was saying. Yeah.
What I was saying is that we don't really have like it set up for the media we currently have for it to be 3D because it's presented through a 2D surface.
I see what you're saying. Yes, it would be similar to the issue that Apple Vision Pro is having, where like you need to have software developers that create apps specifically for this product. Otherwise, you're just going to have a blank screen in front of you, and it's like, what's the point of these freaking 3D goggles that are super heavy if it's not actually 3D? I think that would have to be more of like a ramp up. It was going to start off really slow, and then over time, more and more apps will be created that are in 3D.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I saw.
I feel like there's also a lot of other implications too. Like I was just thinking of like military implications or any kind of like navigation where you could have this fan that creates a 3D model of the terrain, and maybe that terrain is just being pulled from Google Earth or whatever. But then like I remember in the past when you were in the army, you would have to draw with a stick in the ground. Like, okay, you have like this thing
Not
over
only
here.
that, but I would create like mounts and stuff. I would basically create a 3D environment using like the stuff in the woods, right? Like I would make a mound of dirt, or I'd use like things from MRE boxes and stuff to like create a whole like town and stuff in 3D. This would make that a lot easier.
Yeah.
He actually
Wow,
had a
that's
cup
But
of
I'd
Toto.
also
Yo, imagine you use this 3D technology like you were saying in the military, and you make like a 3D map in front of you, but you could use some sort of like satellite or whatever technology to get heat sources, and they would pop up on your 3D map so you could know like where the enemy was sitting. That would be so
Oh.
cool.
Oh,
That's
yes.
sick.
I mean-
Yeah. No, that's
if I
awesome.
knew where all the enemy was sitting, we would just friggin' strike them.
Yeah, I guess
Right?
they could do that now.
Needed to go in there.
It wouldn't have
Yeah.
to necessarily be 3D.
You said military implications, and the first thing that came to mind is there's just one soldier, but you have like thousands of holograms of your one soldier, so you're just yelling at the camp, "We have you surrounded!"
That's so
It's just
funny.
it's just one guy.
Oh my god.
There's also in the chat, Casey was joking, but he said Blade Runner girlfriend. And I feel like, you know how you were saying earlier, like you could have like the chat GPT walking in? You could, but it could be your girlfriend.
Oh god.
Like, I don't know, like then now, but like we have these AI girlfriends. If we had
Yeah, but you couldn't
holograms that
do
could walk around your
anything.
house.
What's the point? I mean, there's people out there who would be fine with that, but no. Mm-mm.
Well, I mean, I think that you could do a lot with it. I think as long as you have the chat GPT for the real life language, natural language, you have the hologram, so you have the physical representation, and then you would put on like some kind of like a physical suit where you could like feel touch and stuff, and then all of a sudden you have a girlfriend.
Okay, at least you didn't go with
Blade
this
Runner
where I
girlfriend.
thought you were going. So
Yeah.
that's good. I was like, we're about to get fucking canceled. Here we go. And it's
I don't know what you guys are talking about. I'm just talking about hugs.
I was
yeah,
waiting for it. I was
hugs.
like, ooh.
Yeah, hugs is where I was thinking. If I can't hug my girlfriend, it's not gonna work. Fuck that shit.
I need hugs for energy. They make me feel good.
Gotta turn them.
Oh,
Jesus Christ.
all right. Any other thoughts on the holographic fan? I'm definitely gonna look this up. I already have it on my
Me too.
a tab open.
I looked it up a little bit.
Yeah, I
Dude,
saw pictures.
I'm
I
honestly
didn't see
thinking
any
of
live
buying one.
examples of it though.
Like as soon as I can, I kind of
Really
want
cool.
I kind of want to buy one, have it behind me during stream, and just like project, like have like Twitch like viewers being able to like redeem shit and like the project an image behind us. That'd be cool.
So cool.
I mean, I saw some cheap versions. I don't know how good it is.
I
The cheaper ones, but
the cheaper
look
ones.
shitty.
Yeah, the cheaper ones, from what I saw during my research, you can't just upload any image to it. It comes with like a set.
okay.
Yeah, so they were like, the guys I was watching were like, be careful. Make sure the one you get has like Wi-Fi adaptability and it's its own app, because if it doesn't, then all you're limited to projecting is whatever comes pre-installed with it, and you're just kind of shit out of luck.
Aw, that's boring.
Yeah.
all the projections though would have to have a 3D model to it.
Yeah, they would project 3D models to it, but they'd have like their own set of like one he showed off only came with like 40 images. You could like have a shoe or a hamburger or like, but that was like a really cheap like $40 one he found on like Alibaba or something, I think it was. But the expensive ones that come with like, you want to make sure it has at least Wi-Fi capability on it, or you won't be able to upload your own images to it.
I wonder, again, like my mind always goes to the medical implications of technology, because I feel like that's like where like, I don't know, that's like the core of humans is health. And I wonder if, like, let's say a doctor needs to perform surgery on somebody and they had a holographic representation I didn't fully like think this thought through, but I wonder if they could help, if surgeries could be easier if they had some kind of a hologram on top of the person that says like, okay, cut here and this exact millimeter distance, and maybe even like there's also situations where like doctors, they need to cut a very specific part in like the brain, or they need to reach a specific part of the brain, and then maybe you could have like a hologram representation that helps you. Oh wait, now I'm thinking, okay, sorry, I'm like not saying this thought completely at all, but okay, so let's say you have a robot connected to the real patient that's on the surgical bed that's doing the actual surgery. So a robot is doing the surgery, but the doctor is connected to that robot and it's using a hologram in order to do it. So it can see the entire 3D of the human brain or whatever it is. And then the doctor could then know, like, oh, here's the thing in the brain, rather than doing it blind and just kind of like sticking a fucking knife in there and seeing if it works. They can actually like see the holographic representation, go in, hit the exact spot. As the doctor's hitting the exact spot, the robot hits the exact spot on the real patient.
He really went deep into this.
When you said that, honestly,
What
what came
the
to
hell?
my mind, is being like, what if a super simplified version of that, being able to scan the person on the table, a hologram of that exact person kind of lifts up, and you can tear the hologram apart before you work on the patient, and the hologram has all
yes.
the like exactly, just like, oh, here's the problem on the hologram before we dive into the real guy, you know?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
So what I got when I was thinking of that was the Iron Man thing, where he has like his scans and then he like can take it apart and stuff like that.
Yeah,
That's exactly what I'm
exactly. Yeah, that'd be
Oh.
sick. Being able to
Whoa,
build something,
so
like
cool.
put something together with holograms, and then your printer just print it.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
I am Iron Man.
Yes, this is why I love talking about technology, because it's like the possibilities of it are crazy, but also so possible, so realistic. Like, it's really not that crazy. All these ideas, that my crazy ideas with the NeuraLink are crazy, but like these ideas with the hologram are not that crazy.
I will never trust you with acid.
Yeah.
And I didn't already trust you with cookies.
Yeah.
Leave those sprouties alone.
Mhm.
All right.
That's it for me.
Cool.
That was good. That was
That
great.
was good.
You said we're going girl guy. Is that what we're doing?
Yep.
Yeah, so Peach, if you want to go.
Yeah, let me get this going. So I did make a slideshow, and I'm like, I'm not letting my hard work go to waste.
Yeah, are you able to show it?
Yeah.
Is it gonna work?
Yeah, you should replace the camera.
So you have to
Can you guys
click
see
watch
it?
stream.
If I do that, then it's
gonna fuck with all of our cameras. Yeah.
Oh.
You'd have to maybe disable your camera and then go to screen sharing. It'll fuck with our. Oh god, here we go.
All right.
Did that work?
Yeah. Now we need the thing.
Yeah. Now watch stream. Ooh.
I can have it not do that if that works.
Hold on. I think I may have gotten it. Wait. Yep, there we go.
Wait,
okay, I got
it.
I placed it. We're good. Yeah, we're good.
How
Okay.
how do I do this?
So
how do I?
So watch her stream and then click on it to where it like has our cameras where they were placed, and then her screen.
How do I do that?
It seems like you have it kind of set up. You just have to.
there.
Yeah. Just get rid of that.
Wait, what? Now I'm just.
Oh wait, no. Go back to where you were at.
There you go.
No, he has it.
This is what she's currently looking.
Oh, Peach is showing that.
Yeah. He has it.
Okay, there we go. We're good. Perfect.
Okay.
All right. Cool.
Gucci?
PowerPoint presentation. Let's go.
Okay.
PowerPoint presentation. I'm sorry, this is how I work. Okay, so we are going out of Earth and into space, and we are going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about solar sail technology. No, we're talking about solar sail technology, which is literally using the sun to move spacecrafts in space. So I'm going to like go through the history a little bit of it, how it came to be, and then talking about what is now the advanced version of it. And I wrote a paper, so just bear with me, guys. But okay, so in the early 2000s, we had already achieved so many different remarkable milestones in space exploration. From our historic moon landing to deep space probes, we had literally reached far beyond Earth's atmosphere. But all of these missions that we had achieved had relied on something that has limitations, and that is traditional chemical propulsion systems. These are
Mm.
systems that we're using rockets that are powered by onboard fuel, which means, yes, we can accomplish a lot of things, but it comes with a cost. One of the major issues is our dependency on fuel. So rockets use a lot of fuel, and this fuel is a mass to the aircraft, which reduces how far we can travel. Once that fuel is depleted, our mission is over, regardless of how much more we have to explore. Additionally, the cost of fuel is extremely high. This is the Falcon 9. Per launch of the Falcon 9, it costs $62 million, with the fuel being a little over $500,000. This is all per launch. This is the Delta IV Heavy. It costs $350 million, with the fuel costing about $700,000, and this is $350 million with the cost of the fuel every single launch as well. So we have
The 700.
1,000 is the
Sorry, wait.
fuel.
The 700K is per launch. The 350 million.
No,
That's
no, no.
just the aircraft.
The entire thing is per launch, but the 700
Every
is just
time,
the fuel.
man.
Every time we launch, yeah.
Oh
So,
wow.
in response to like this limitation of how much these things are costing and how far we can go, engineers were looking for different propulsion methods that didn't rely on conventional fuel, and that was one of those methods was to look into solar sail propulsion. Like I said, it's using sunlight, not fuel, to power through space. So in the early 2000s, a company known as JAXA, which is Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency, they were one of the first people to invest in this type of technology. They created a craft known as Icarus, which stands for Interplanetary Kite Craft Accelerated by Radiation of the Sun. It's long, I know. But the whole point of Icarus was to demonstrate the viability of solar sails as a space travel method. So the way that the solar sails work is they harness the momentum of photons, and photons are particles that of light that are emitted by the sun. They have no mass, but they carry energy and momentum. When these photons like strike a reflective surface, like the sails that are on Icarus, it can move or push those things in different directions, and that constant pressure accelerates the spacecraft without any kind of need of fuel. So Icarus, it's the spacecraft itself is like has these large thin sails on it, you can see down here. And these sails are 14 meter square polyimide films, so they're like a lightweight, heat resistant, flexible material that's ideal for harsh environments, including like those in space. Inside of this sail, they have what's called like a liquid crystal panel, and that panel would control the direction of sunlight that is reflected by like adjusting the sail's reflectivity. And then it has like thin film solar cells that are like integrated into the sail that powers the cell. So in 2010, Icarus was launched, and it became the first successful demonstration of solar sail propulsion in space. It flew past Venus in December of that same year, and it operated for 5 years. It literally far exceeded any expectations that we had of it, and it proved that solar sailing was feasible. So
Wait, sorry, I'm sorry. Can you go back to the previous slide, please?
Girl,
Oh, is it not possible? Never mind, never mind.
I don't know, 'cause it's
I mostly
this one.
Yeah. So sorry, I was like looking at the pictures and stuff. I think I missed how the photons are able to make that film move.
Okay, so here, let me go to the next slide. It actually shows it. So this is
Okay.
what it looks like in space. And this material right here is the material that's reflective. So what happens is the photons will hit the reflective surface, and they're using a material that you can, from like the ground, you can either make it translucent or not. And when the photons hit the part that's reflective, it'll actually steer the craft in that direction, because the photons are only hitting the reflective surface of it. When it's not reflective, that part isn't being hit, so it can't move. So we can literally steer that from where we are. And I have better pictures of the newer one, but this is the 2010 one, so it looks kind of, yeah. But
So is the sun steering?
The
then?
So the photons from the sun hit the reflective material, right? And we
Mhm.
tell the material what side is going to be reflective, and from
Oh, I
there
see what you're
it
saying.
steers.
I see
Yeah.
what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So after the success of this mission, like I said, it lasted for 5 years. It saw Venus and proved that this was something that we could do. Recently, in 2021, NASA, and this is a really bad picture, I'm so sorry. It was hard to get a NASA picture to allow on Google Slides. But in 2021, NASA, inspired by all of this, created their own project called the Advanced Composite Solar Sail System, or ACSS. And in 2024, they actually launched this. So this craft
Oh.
is about the size, if you can see here in the center, if you guys can see my mouse, this right
Yeah.
here is about the size of a microwave oven. It's designed to be compact and lightweight. And when it's deployed into space, the sails that are on the side, they open up. And they're a reflective surface that span about 860 feet wide, which is about 6 parking lot spaces. So it's actually pretty big. And if the lighting conditions on like Earth and space are favorable, we can actually see this thing in Earth. So
Oh, wow.
this is advanced because it uses, I hope you guys can see this, maybe the next picture. Okay, yeah. So in this picture right here, you can see these lines right here. This uses what's called composite booms, like you see on a sailboat. They're flexible poles that are made from carbon fiber and polymer materials that support the sail. So they're lightweight and strong, but they allow us to have like a more precision control over the device. The craft itself has these super thin like reflective films, and it's equipped with electrochromatic material, and these are substances that will change the transparency like I was talking about based on what kind of voltages are applied to it. So we can say turn this section off, right? If I turn this whole section off, right, make
Yeah.
this transparent, the sun and the photons hit here and I'm going this way. If I need to go like up, turn these off. I want to go this way. That's how they're making this
Wow.
sail work.
I think you're gonna have
So
similar problems that you do with sailboats, and that you're gonna have limited maneuverability based on just using the sun,
yeah, you
as
you
opposed to be
do.
using fuel as. Okay, got you.
Like
It's
because
really
of
like
Because
the
it's
sun is going to
reliant
be
on the
blocked
sun.
by the Earth or something.
No, it's reliant on the sun
reliant.
for what type of movement it's going to be able to do.
Well, it can kind of decide, but the sun is always going to be there because like unless you're really close to the Earth and the Earth is blocking the sun, you're in space. So the sun is already going to be there, and you can decide which part of the film
How
is going to be reflective.
how this works is it works like a sail, in that it needs to in facing in the direction of the sun.
Oh, I see what you're
The
saying.
yeah.
Okay.
So that is like one of the main like an issue with it. But
Mm.
this launch costs but to launch this was 7.3 million, which is significantly less than every other like craft that we put in there.
Yeah.
So according to like NASA scientists, they're saying that the sun is going to or not even just NASA scientists, but scientists in general are saying that the sun is going to continue to shine for billions of years. So if we can perfect this, we can literally have limitless exploration. And because
Yeah.
of how cheap it is, one single mission isn't going to be one craft. We can have hundreds or thousands of crafts at once on different missions, exploring different things. It opens up like the possibility for further planetary exploration, deep space observation. This is like another shot of it. Deep space like observation. It could even help detect like early warning signs of like storms or whatever that are coming and threatening our own Earth satellites and our power grids in time for us to make some sort of like change.
It's just a
Um,
one-way ticket, though, right? Like, you're
yeah,
not
it's
coming
up.
back from this.
No, it's up and
If somebody got in this thing, they'd be like stuck.
no, you
down
don't.
there
No,
forever.
it's not people. It's
Yeah, yeah.
its own thing.
I
Like
was
people
just
aren't
thinking about
even
the
shit.
function in terms of like having it for people exploration, and in terms of like if we were to use that as a replacement for spaceships, because
Yeah.
the good thing about spaceships is you can actually put people inside them and you can go to other places.
Well, it could begin as just a robot that goes on, or some kind of a device that goes on and finds a habitable place. And once that place is found,
Then
then humans go on a one-way trip to that place, but at least they know that where they're going, that the place exists. Yeah.
Yes.
So that would
Okay.
allow for much further exploration.
Exactly. Yes.
That would be really cool.
I don't know.
Yeah, I like that because that means if we perfected that, you could launch, especially like with people being able to get on board. That's how we get to other planets.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And that'd be a cool
That's
ass
their goal
looking.
with it.
That'd be a cool ass looking ship too. Imagine like a ship that looks like a boat, like a
Yeah.
sailboat, just yeet into the space. Final Fantasy, they called it.
Oh wait, you're right. They did.
called it.
They like Treasure Planet, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they treasure planet in. Yeah. Oh my god. Okay, imagine you had that technology, the sun technology, right, with advanced robots that we've been talking about attached to it like a surfer. Imagine where we could go.
The
Wow.
only problem with this is it probably doesn't produce as much energy as you would get from fuel, right? Like, so how much energy is it actually getting to propel itself by the sunlight? Enough to maybe move that thing, but probably not anything that
Imagine-
big.
Right. Like you
Yeah.
can have a sailboat, but you can't have a cruise ship. Like the cruise ship
Exactly,
isn't
yeah,
going to move with sails.
You might even
It's
not have a
pretty
sailboat.
limited.
Sailboat might be too high.
Well, imagine being able to have both. Like, imagine being able to have like fuel tanks on board as a just in case, or like, hey, we need to move like right now. Kind of like having
True,
nitro
true,
on
true.
a car. You slam the button and you go. Like,
True.
Or a hybrid car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like your car is. why
Yeah.
I
and
pointed
what
you out.
if you had extra panels on it that stored additional power? So like you have panels that are moving you now and panels that are storing power to move you later. Like
Yeah.
And what if
Oh,
you
that would be
had 1,000 hamsters on spinning wheels, which also generate electricity?
How are they breathing? We had to spend money on their feet. Oh,
Hamsters can breathe in space. A little known fact.
no, we dip
Oh,
the
yeah.
hamsters in Key's vat of acid and make hamster fuel.
Oh yeah, we just
We
keep
make
on
robot
spamming them.
hamsters off of those hamsters. We download their consciousness, put them into
Shut up.
robots. That way they can breathe in space.
Everything that I said was totally possible.
Yeah,
So.
everything you said was something that somebody usually says when they're high.
No, that's honestly, I didn't
True.
know anything about solar sailing. That's so cool. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they launched it
Yeah,
last
that's
year.
the first time I heard about it.
Yeah, they launched it last year from New Zealand, so we don't have a lot back from it. But they like plan on releasing more information as soon as we get more information. Like I'm so excited. I saw this shit on NASA. I was like, the fuck, looking for updates.
Dude,
I
that-
wonder how far we can communicate with it. Like it may be able to travel really, really far distance, but once it gets to a certain point, are we still going to be receiving signals from it? And if we are, is there like a really long time lag?
I don't know. I didn't see anything on that, but I would be curious too. I know it has cameras attached to it. That's how we can see like what the hell's going on. But I don't know. I don't know how
Wow.
far you go.
I-
This
I-
is
It's
a newer
expected to
version.
come back and crash land into the like. thing.
Well, with the information
That's
it
how we're
gives
getting
us,
our.
we know it's coming.
yeah.
If
But,
we get it, if we can contact it.
I imagine our capability of sending and receiving signals has got to be much higher than any of us here even know or can imagine, because we were sending and controlling a rover on Mars in real time, right? Like we're like you had people like controlling that thing and sending
Yeah.
signal back and forth. So our signal capabilities have got to be pretty fucking good for like what, our day and age. So
True,
I'd
true.
And do you know the last signal where you received from the Mars rover? That's so sad. Battery's running
It
low and
died,
it's
right?
getting dark.
Yeah.
That's so sad. R.I.P. rover. Poor little
That's a-
guy.
It's a robot.
Yeah,
True.
but like, hearts out for rover, man. Poor dude.
I know you guys watched Wall-E and feel some weird connection towards robots, but
Wally was so cute.
oh my god.
cute.
All right. Let's not dive into people's sexual fantasies about Wally or whatever the hell we're talking about now.
I really hope
He's gonna get us
actually,
banned.
he probably is.
That was the next step. That was the next step that Key was gonna take.
After I said Wally's so cute.
Yeah.
But imagine like
I mean, if it
solar-
had your consciousness.
I should heard what you said about Venom.
Shut up.
the
Oh,
capability-
right, the books in the library. Is that what we're talking about?
Oh my
monster
god.
books?
No.
Oh, the monster book.
I wasn't talking about other books. I was talking about Key.
I mean, if solar sailing, like, it is it limitless or is it not? Because like it does rely on the sun. Like, like
It's not
It's limited
limited
by the sun.
because the sun is gonna continuously burn. So
Yeah,
it's
but how
literally-
far
in
away
this
from
area, but the farther you
Yeah,
get,
that's what I'm
away,
saying.
the less effective
Yeah.
sunlight is.
But
Right
there's
now,
more
we don't
suns
know.
out there. Every star is a sun.
Sure,
So we
but-
were
but-
actually concerned about the whole directionality aspect. But if you have our sun going a certain way, and then there's other stars, other
Yeah, but
suns, and then you could use
have to
those.
go to those suns. I don't know if this thing would be able to make it to those other suns
No.
before it cooled off. Think about how far away the
Yes,
nearest
yeah.
next sun is to us.
Yeah,
don't
I
actually know
mean,
off the top of my head.
it
It's
depends on how
really far
advanced.
away.
Yeah, they would.
It's really far away.
I mean, I don't
Our
know.
solar system is light years away from the next solar system.
Yeah.
So I feel like solar
But if it
sailing
could
is great
do-
for, yeah.
What?
Sailing our little system. It's like
Yeah.
wakeboarding, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Don't go too far out, but here's fine.
Yeah. No, it's great for this area.
Yeah, it's
Absolutely.
super cool, super
And that we
clean.
could like if they actually master this technology, maybe we could have a solar like cruise ship like we're talking about.
That would
Whoa.
be
Maybe you have to modify.
Solar airlines?
Yo, I would do
Yeah.
that.
And
Yes.
that's the next cruise ship is solar.
Yep.
Well, wait, that's actually no, never mind. So this could only work in space where there's not gravity or very little gravity relative to what we have on Earth. Because I was just thinking, like, wouldn't it be cool if we could use this for Earth travel? But no, it wouldn't be possible.
Yeah.
It has to be like anti-gravity. But still, like, yeah, flying around through space. That sounds cool. Earth travel, yeah.
I
Oh,
bet-
you meant here?
Like on an airplane, like instead of an
Okay.
airplane, you have a very clean energy
Okay, yeah,
airplane.
yeah,
I've
gravity.
never had any
Yes.
desire to go out into space or like be an astronaut or anything, but if our spaceships start looking like Final Fantasy or
Sin?
yeah, oh my god, then sign me up. I'm going into space. You can't pay me enough to go on a fucking spaceship, but a space like ship. Yeah, I do that. Mm-hmm.
Really, you wouldn't go on like a modern day spaceship?
Nope,
Really? Why not?
ain't no way. Cause I don't know what's in space. Same problem I have with the ocean. I don't know what's down there. I don't know what's up
Yes,
there. I'm
true.
sticking
Yeah.
where my knowledge can carry me a little bit here. Because if I go up there and
Yeah.
some giant like, we don't know what's in space. We have no idea. We don't even have a full percentage knowledge of what in the hell is. I
Mhm.
want nothing to do with it.
Dude, I want space more than water, but like my concern would be like, remember the Challenger from the 80s?
Mm.
I
Uh,
would do that.
A bad way
Yeah.
to go with being stuck up there. Imagine
Yeah.
getting up there and then because the knowledge is gonna hit you before the action does, right? Like we're stuck, and you're gonna be like, fuck.
oh God.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
No.
Yeah. And just the
No.
idea of the vastness of space. I'm actually scared of the deep ocean because of its vastness. Like it scares the hell out of me to really imagine how unbelievably large it is. And the ocean is nothing compared to space itself. Sometimes I just like look up into the sky and I'm just like, dude, I'm like looking into the ether right now. And it's kind of scary to think of
is.
like that is so far away.
Yeah. And I want nothing
Yeah.
to do with it. You can't make me. You can't pay me enough.
It would be cool to see the Earth though.
I can
Oh,
Google
yeah, like
image
below
it.
you.
Yeah.
That's my
Seriously.
problem with a lot of things people like want to experience, or like if it's not super important enough to me, I could just Google image it and be like, wow, that's cool. Thank God someone else did this for me because I ain't doing it. But yeah, that's That like imagine way in the future, solar sailing, but like you as a single person just surfing into the.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be sick. I would be all about
Cool.
that. I'd be all about that. Like, see you, mom. I'm going to Mars.
Okay.
All right. Any more thoughts on solar sailing? Thank you, Peach, for the slideshow. I actually really liked the slideshow. I liked
Yeah,
all
that
the
was super
pictures
cool.
and the
Yeah,
explanation.
that was reminded me of like this high school presentation.
I'm sorry. That's how it was like.
I like it. I like
whatever works.
slideshows.
Whatever works. Just all have different. We all kind of did it a little bit differently the way we are presenting this, which I kind of like. You know, having
Yeah.
like a variety of different ones.
I'm scared.
So
for
what
whatever
about you?
combines.
Mine's
Alright.
gonna be more open
Or-
discussion.
Are you guys ready to press end?
No,
Damn.
dude.
Give
Any-
him a
He
chance.
said he
Damn, dude.
yesterday he wouldn't tell me the topic, but he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna get us canceled." It's like,
I'm
oh,
not
Hell
trying.
yeah, bring it.
It's an attempt, all right? I'm going to present this in the worst possible way, and then I'm going to backtrack. But, okay. What is one of the biggest problems we have here in the United States currently?
Money, food. I can go on.
pollution.
All right, you're all wrong. It's women.
Birds.
And here, this is how we're going to replace them with technology replacing women.
Okay.
Well, I think I know what you're talking about.
I knew
I
it.
think I know what you're about to talk
I
about.
called it.
Are you talking about some sort
You
of?
called it? Yeah, I know you guys. You guys started talking about. You actually started encroaching on my topic a little bit
Mhm.
when you guys were talking about
The AI girlfriends?
online, like the AI like girlfriend app.
I knew it. No, I
Right.
called it
Hey.
before we started the stream. I was like in chat with Carbonic and Key, going like he's gonna talk about some kind of crazy doll robot thing. I fucking knew it.
Oh wait, okay, then I'm so off. I thought we were talking about AI uterus. Never mind.
It's that too.
Oh wait,
That too.
what?
So what
So you
mine
just-
is more of a general discussion about not just women, by the way. This is a general like how we're moving towards replacing people for relationships,
Okay.
and it's actually increasingly growing. Like if you just look at the stats on people who are getting the online girlfriends and stuff like that, because people are looking for emotional connections when it comes to those things. And then people go like, oh, well, they also send like nude pictures too. It's like, you can look that up on the internet. There's thousands of pictures that existing, right? You don't need this on like app in order to do that. So why is this app becoming so increasingly popular? It's because people are getting into relationships later and later as their career, they're prioritizing their careers and stuff. And the standards for dating when it comes to people hasn't changed. So you have a lot more people like having trouble getting relationships and stuff like that, which is why we have this new technology for AI girlfriends. That's one of those things. But now we're seeing like actualized humanoid like robots who are also communicating. These aren't sex robots I'm talking about right now. By the way, Fox, I know what you're thinking. These are like
no
actual
idea what I'm
robots who
thinking.
communicate and give. Well, please share your thoughts.
No, continue.
I have a whole.
I go on.
All right, and the other thing I was going to talk about, artificial wombs, which Peach was talking about earlier, being able to actually have wombs that aren't inside a human anymore,
Oh yes.
and growing
yeah.
babies outside of a womb.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
That's
And yeah, this is crazy. It's like you have like a population of people who either like there's some people who can't have kids, you know, or people who don't want to go through the process of giving birth, like it ruining your body and stuff like that. So you have like artificial wombs and stuff that's now becoming like all these things are being more increasingly available as time goes on.
As soon as you said artificial wombs, I immediately thought like, oh, there's gonna have like defects, there's gonna be things wrong with it. But like maybe it's the opposite. Maybe the babies that are kept in this controlled environment, there's no exposure to pollutants. It's exactly the exact correct number of or amount of nutrients that it needs, exact temperature, blah blah blah. Maybe these like babies would actually be really well developed.
And we always talk about how, like, as women get older, like, the cause for the baby's mutations, like, grows well. Same thing with guys. The older guys get,
Yeah.
the more likelihood you are to have problems with your child.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Yeah, nobody talks about that, but it's on the guys' end too. The girls, it's more of like a fertility thing. The guys, it's more like a birth defect thing.
The girls is also a birth defect thing.
Well,
as
yeah,
well.
true. But they
But-
have to like have the kid first in order to, yeah.
Yeah. So what I can see is a future where we have like an egg and a sperm and whatever, and then whenever we want to create a baby, we just combine it, put it inside this artificial uterus, and then the person like gets themselves neutered or whatever the hell you want to call it.
Neutered.
Whatever. Fertilized. Not fertilized. Whatever word it is. Huh? Yeah, whatever. Like
Spade
either two,
Inseminated?
whatever.
mixed.
Oh, you're talking about, okay.
Carbonics talking
Yeah,
about
next
growing us
or
like
whatever.
houseplants.
I think that is possibly the future.
Casey.
Not only that, but maybe people in the future not actually having a real human partner.
I mean, like we were just talking, Fox, earlier, you were mentioning the robots in Japan that looked really realistic. You combine that with ChatGPT, you combine that with the AI girlfriend app, you combine that with the artificial wombs, you combine that with Roombas and dishwashers, and all of a sudden you have a whole wife for you.
God damn, I got clipped.
I know you did. I'm curious what that one is.
It's the one where he said get rid of women, probably.
Didn't say get rid of women. I
Thank
said they
you,
were the
Casey.
problem.
The more you talked, the more I was imagining, like, you have guests over, right? And they walk in your house, and you just got, like, this human growing on your wall, and you're showing them off like you would house plants. Like, oh, this is my son. He's, like, he's growing. He'll hatch soon.
So that's
my
also
God.
an idea that I thought about. I think you'd have like more of a connection to the kid if you saw the kid growing in the womb. Like imagine like guys don't get the same experience as women do in like growing the kid inside themselves. Like
True.
we don't have that same connection to it.
Well, I think it would actually be the exact same because this artificial womb, it's not going to be like a clear plastic where you
It
can
can't
see
be, though.
inside. I think it's still going to have to be like mammalian tissue just using stem cells. And so it'd still be like you wouldn't be able to see.
Why not?
Yeah, you can.
What's
we
to
can.
stop the next stage from being see-through?
It's really hard
And
to
then it
make
can
them to
actually go
change the
closer.
opacity of a material while still keeping its functionality.
I mean, we're able to.
We do with like tinted windows, right?
No, like we can hatch chickens with no egg shell or whatever, and it's in a clear thing, so you can
Ooh,
watch
yeah.
the chicken grow as
Really?
yeah.
Yes,
We've already done that. That's like a high school
Oh,
project
wow.
someone did. Is they were able to
Oh,
make
wow.
a fake clear eggshell, and then like hatch a chicken in it. So you're like, and he had it in
That's
like
so
an
weird.
ice, like, and he had them where you can like look at it like grow slowly, and that was some kid's like high
Whoa.
school project, which was mind blowing.
Dude.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Well,
This is so
I s-
weird.
I see
I'm
this
wondering-
being increasingly popular. Oh yeah, continue.
No, I'm
Oh, yeah,
saying,
you go
like,
first, you go
I'm
first, I'm
trying to
thinking.
think of it like you're saying. Okay, there's no connection. Like guys don't have as strong as a connection to it as women do because like we're growing it
Mhm.
inside of us. But I'm wondering like if you have an artificial woman that's growing on the walls. Yes, you guys are getting a different connection than you can see it growing than like women would. But would women still have those same like maternal instincts to a thing that we see growing on a wall rather than where it naturally would be like inside of us? Would I still care about it the same way?
So I don't think so, and that's a good point. I don't think you have that same connection to things that you haven't birthed out yourself. I think there's like a chemical that gets released when your
Yeah.
baby's born. Am I correct?
Yes.
That's not just oxytocin, right? It's something else.
I thought it was mainly oxytocin. I'm
Oh,
sure
is it
there's a
mainly
bunch. I'm
oxytocin?
sure there's a bunch, but oxytocin is the one that comes to
Yeah.
mind.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's why you have like cases where like typically when it comes to adopted kid, there's a lot more higher risk of abuse from the families, right?
Oh.
Because you don't have as high amount of a feeling for something that's not really yours.
Well,
Yeah.
okay, but men are not carrying the baby.
Mhm.
but they still have biological changes that are induced when their wife has a baby.
Yeah,
Like their
when they're
testosterone drops, they also have the oxytocin boost. So like they're feeling the cuddle hormones, their aggression is decreasing. Why is this happening when they're not the ones that like, why is this going to happen if like their sister has a baby in the same house, you know? Like are they still going to feel all these things?
So I was thinking the same. I was about to bring up maybe elementary school teachers and stuff like
Oh,
that. Whether they are impacted by that,
yeah.
because I would say yes. I think you might be. I think having a kid in your immediate vicinity probably drops your testosterone levels because you can't be like aggressive all the time around your kid. Or something,
Yeah.
right? Like you have to have that nurturing aspect too when you're around children.
And so that's something that guys experience, and that's probably an evolutionary function because they are not the ones carrying the womb. But
Yeah.
girls, if they don't have that like trigger of like, okay, you're pregnant, here's the hormones that make you actually like this kid. If you're not getting that, then maybe
Yeah.
like guys have the biological mechanism to turn it on, but women shouldn't have that trigger.
I think they still do.
I mean, probably similar in that, like, if some random kid on the street on the playground starts living in our house, like, yeah, I'm gonna think it's really cute, and like, I don't know, like, I think, I,
She's just gonna start stealing kids in the neighborhood. It's the next step right there.
Hide your kids. Hide your wife,
Kidnapping.
Jesus.
I mean,
there's been documented people of like mothers who go through. I can't remember.
Yes.
Like, did they like? Yeah, they freak out. They lost their kid and they start kidnapping
Mhm.
other kids. Like,
No,
this
they
is-
actually find a pregnant woman and like
Yeah.
slice her open and take their baby.
okay, what kind of horror movies are you watching?
No,
So
no,
this is like real.
yeah,
This is
what?
real life.
Yeah. No,
This
this
is real life.
Yeah.
They go into
Alright, I
this
don't wanna
like
hear that.
psychotic state.
I don't want to. I'm taking my headphone out. Sorry,
Okay.
I can't hear anybody.
She can't handle anything that's even remotely
Okay. We'll stop.
No,
we'll stop
like
talking.
real life,
Yeah,
like
real life
true
stuff.
crime
Real life.
scares the shit out of
she
me.
can't do it.
Because then I just start overthinking it, and then like now, let's say I get pregnant, I'm gonna be like looking around, like, oh my god, who's got a knife around
I
me?
don't know, dude. You couldn't even watch the Final Destination trailer.
Those things.
Just on the TV.
Yeah, they were drinking glass. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, it's a typical like fucking Final Destination trailer.
Yeah,
I mean,
like that freaks. Like real life horror scares me because that's actual possibilities. My
still
friend
can't,
accidentally broke glass while she was baking cookies, and she still ate the cookies. And I was like, bro, what if there's like a micro glass in there? Like, no.
Hell no.
That couldn't be me, dude. That's crazy.
I would never. I would throw that
No.
shit in the trash. I don't care.
I still
That's
can't drive
crazy.
behind a logging truck because of those movies. I still can't.
Right? Me neither.
I see a
Mhm,
logging
yeah.
truck. I'm like, I
Did you
don't care if
watch
it's a
it?
1-lane road. I'm passing this bitch, or I'm staying
Yep.
way back there.
I think I've seen that, but I also just like that Final Destination commercial that we just watched like
The new
30
one.
minutes before this. It showed the log thing. And also, your old roommate's girlfriend was an insurance person. Like she was like the person on the phone when there's an insurance claim. And she told me one day, she was like, "Oh, I just got off the phone with someone and they had the logs in front of them fall." And she was like, "Oh, the person was fine. I guess they were able to swerve or whatever." But it was like, that happened in real life too. So that's why I hate those movies because they're legit. They can happen.
There's a lot of things that happen in movies that can happen, but still just movies.
Yeah, but you get scared of video games, so I don't want to hear it from you.
Oof.
And that shit's real. Okay.
All right.
Going back to-
As you guys completely derailed my
How was this
conversation about
derailed?
replacing women with
Oh
AI.
my
No,
god.
okay. So going back to it, do you think what were we talking? We were talking about like the implications of like women having a different response. I wonder if it would be like the same response for some women when they have a surrogate, where they get like really jealous and
Yes.
like mad and feel like they have no connection with the kid.
Yeah. I mean, well,
I haven't really.
I feel like everybody would assume that they won't have a connection with the kid if it's like adopted or if it's a surrogate, but we still have friendship connections, love connections, family connections that aren't your child. So like we can still feel love without it being your child. So I think they would still be able to feel it. It would just be triggered in a different way, I guess.
So you're saying
Okay.
if the kid's growing up to be an asshole, you just like you give it up.
Peace.
Like, okay, this is not
Kid's an
mine.
asshole.
Yeah.
You're like,
What?
okay, he was well grown. Not my fault.
Oh my god. Yeah, it took out an incubation chamber early. All right. So going back to what it originally was, I'm thinking even surpassing that idea and actually having a replacement for a human connection with AI. And I mean, you can look at the implications and the positives and the negatives and whatever. But like, if you didn't have to have the all right, I was thinking about it from a guy's perspective, but like having like the baby grow within inside the robot,
Oh.
Whoa.
and these robots looking very human-like,
Oh my god.
and to the point where you're programming exactly how that robot looks, exactly what type of personality it has, and it adapting based on what you like and dislike.
Wow. Totally possible. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people would go for that.
I think people would, because, and it's going to be a lot of people who have not seen a whole lot of luck within dating. It's going to be people who don't feel like they can trust the opposite sex anymore, and now have like more of a trust in this robot because it can't like do what happened to it based on the relationships it's had.
Yeah, I think that a lot of people would go for it because it's so totally customizable and programmable. You can program it not to cheat on you. You can program it to cook dinner and clean your dishes or
Yeah.
do whatever you want it to do and whatever other things you want it to do. So like I think a lot of people would go for that.
I honestly think not even people who weren't lucky. I think if you think about this implication, this is obviously happening way in the future. At this point, has humanity just completely forgotten about or given up on the idea of getting with the opposite sex in the first place? And it's just become a normal thing. Like you have each person has their partner be this robot, this thing, and if that's the norm, why even try for the other thing? Because the other thing comes with
Yeah.
all these different problems, and you can just
Yeah.
program your dream partner. Like if we get to that point in society, no one out, like barely anybody, probably maybe someone out there is gonna attempt it, but most people are going to have this thing be their partner. Be male, female, doesn't matter, because if it's programmable, who's gonna try anything else besides your dream partner? Like that's a scary thought,
Yeah.
because no one human interaction is just going to plummet, which it already is. As time goes on, it's already plummeting. At that point, we're going to hit like close to zero. That's oh god.
Is that a problem though?
I
Yeah.
would
Is
I
it?
would,
I don't see it as a problem, honestly. I mean, our decline, like a declining birth rate,
Thanks.
doesn't feel like it would affect me as much. Like, what does that do?
to
The
me,
declining population?
no, declining population.
No, no,
Yeah.
the social aspect, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, like
Like socializing aspect? Yeah,
like-
you're not going to have real conversations, right? Like, well, you'll have like a conversation that's going to adapt based on thing, and it might feel more like a real conversation, but actual real conversations have conflict in them, right? Like,
Mhm.
there's no ability of resolution solving you're ever going to have if everybody's always just kind of like agreeing with you and avoiding any
Exactly.
type of, any type of rough areas.
You can program it to. And
You
also,
could.
what
But
like
who would want that? Who would want
Yeah.
to be stressed out all
argue
the
with it
time?
all
And not,
day.
like,
Just be
strong
constantly
conflict.
nagged by their robot wife.
I think people I
You
think
guys would be in the same
people
spot.
No, yeah, nothing changed.
I think people enjoy a little bit of conflict. I don't think they like extreme conflict. I think people do enjoy a little bit of conflict. It's competition, it's interest, it's variety, it's pressure testing your own thoughts.
But over time, I don't think people will. I think the people we are now do, because that is what we know and we've built up, and it's built us strength. We're stronger because of it. But over time, it's going to be one of those things where we become a weaker and weaker mentally society because we do nothing but avoid conflict. Because if given the choice, why would I want to argue with my partner? If I could avoid the argument, I'm going to avoid the argument. Unless, so I feel like over time... Huh?
I don't know. I think that I'm not saying guys are stupid, but I think it's gonna get to a point where guys are like, stop agreeing with me. You'll change the program so that you can have an actual conversation, and then it'll start getting back into where it was. I think you might do that.
I think some guys out there would, like the stronger, naturally stronger people would. But I guess if we're at that point where we're like growing ourselves on the wall and altering DNA, everyone's gonna be strong, right? I'd assume. Because if you're altering DNA, why make a weak wall baby? Why would you make, if we're just growing our own DNA, you're going to grow everyone's just going to be born in peak condition. So I guess we'd all be strong. But I feel like there's a lot of people out there, like as society goes on, just like conflict's going to happen and everyone's going to freak out. Like, I don't know what to do. Like, because aliens invade, we're fucked. We're fucked.
Aliens invade now, we're fucked.
Yeah, but at that point, if we have that kind of technology and anything happens that's negative, we're going to be so mentally weak because we've been avoiding conflict, avoiding problems for so long. We're just going to have no answer for anything, right?
We're talking about partners, and there's certainly conflict amongst partners, but you're still going to want friends. Or are you going to have your AI partner and your AI friends? And then even, let's say it goes to that extreme. Let's say your entire social circle is just a bunch of robots that agree with you. There's still conflict that occurs in life that's not controlled by social situations. Like you're still going to walk down the street and break your foot or whatever, and you're going to have to deal with the consequences of that action. And so you can still build a resilient society through means that are not necessarily social.
I hope so, but I mean, like, imagine all the technology all of us have talked about today, right? All of it, not just one, all of it. And your inner circle is all AI. Your partner's AI. You don't have to do anything yourself. Everything's done for you. Everything's automated. Humans are born to kind of just sit there and kind of exist at this point. Like,
damn. We already have like shut-ins, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have
people who never go outside, people who never interact with other people.
They do over the internet.
Yes.
We still, even if you stay at home, you're going to go on the internet, watch a YouTube video that shows a person, even if it's an AI representation of a person. You still see a human talking. You go on Reddit and you have a back and forth with some other Redditor about the merits of Kung Fu or whatever you want to do. So like people still want to socialize.
I
explore new ideas.
Oh, good.
No, go for it.
I agree with you. I think they do, but I feel like it's declining as time goes on. And I hope you're right. I hope I'm in the wrong here, and that like everything would be fine if all this technology goes up. But think about how like even gaming, take gaming and shut-ins, how they used to be to how they are now. Like back in the day when I was a kid, you'd hop onto online gaming, you'd put that headset on and everybody was talking. There wasn't anyone who was muted. You'd have people slurring up crazy. You'd get in chat, people like, fuck your mama. Like, and that was just everywhere. Like, there was, that's because people were social. People were more social back then. And I'm at fault for this. How many people have completely turned off in-game chat in video games? How many people? Almost everybody I know and game with. I barely ever hear about anyone talking about in-game chats. Like,
even in like games where you actually have to like communicate with each other, there's no chat.
There's no
Marvel
chat.
Rivals would be a good example.
And that's what I'm saying is as technology is going on, yes, there are like we want to communicate with each other, but there's like it's the level of communication is going down. And like even I'm at fault for that. I turned off game chat. I turned off voice chat. People can't message me. People can't add me as a friend. I'm like, I'm here to game with you, and that is it. Fuck off. Like,
No, there are
That's-
some. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just saying that's a good point. Sorry, continue.
Oh, I was gonna say I think like there are things that are combating that. Like you're saying, we're in these games where we're muting ourselves, but how many of these people in these like full-on games are like we are, where we're in a full-blown Discord chat, and how many of them are in this Discord chat for like 10 fucking plus hours a day? They're still socializing. They might not be socializing with their enemy and telling them to go like that they're like with their mom, but there's still like some sort of like socialization there. It's not completely
It
fucked.
is.
no, I'm not saying it's completely,
It
but
feels different, though,
Yeah.
right?
Those, I mean, those discussions are completely fucked. Like, those are normal conversations you have with somebody who's sitting across from you.
mhm.
Like, those are conversations from people who exist behind a wall. who
You're talking
don't
about the
see
in-game
the other
ones?
person on the other side.
The in-game ones.
Yeah, the in-game
Yeah.
conversations
Yeah.
that, like people just insulting each other like left and right.
I think the ones over Discord, even all of us right now talking through the computer, it doesn't quite hit the same as in person.
Yeah.
You know, like we've talked many times, like, oh yeah, when we see each other in person, like there's a difference. Otherwise, we wouldn't be mentioning that. And so, I guess that's why you would have your robots.
This is a little bit more than Reddit conversations where they're
Yes,
just having a wall of text. Most of the times, people are just insulting each other down those freaking Reddit forums. Somebody has like an opinion on something, and then you have like people disagree and just call each other idiots, and followed by whatever
Blur.
point they have to make.
Yeah.
Followed, or just straight up, just like idiot, and then that's it. But yeah, but this I feel is a lot more personal than any other stuff. But yeah, I
Mhm.
guess real life would be a little bit different.
It's
Sorry.
definitely like a level above, but
But even as Peach said, like as we like all of us here, we hop in Discord calls with each other when we play games. But I feel like we are the minority. There's a lot of people, and I feel like most gamers, there's a reason why solo queues exist, and everyone complains about their solo queue experience in games, is because most people are in that boat. Like, and even and again, this is another example where I'm part of the problem. Is back when I was younger, I would have loved to be in a Discord call with like 15 people. I'd be like, this chaos is great. They're like, we're all yelling and screaming, we're all doing call outs. Now, if there's like 5-6 people, I'm like, this is too much. I gotta go. I gotta fucking, like, I feel like as time goes on, I feel like as technology gets big, even that is getting smaller.
I think that that's totally happening to a lot of people and it's super common. But at the same time, like we have at our disposal the ability to socialize more, but we're choosing not to. Like back in the old days when 100 years ago when everybody would go to work at the factory, like you wake up, you go on the bus with a bunch of people, you talk to the person who's sitting next to you because you don't have your phone, you don't have headphones to listen to, you literally just talk to the person who's sitting on the bus. You go to the factory, you talk to all of your coworkers in the factory, and then you go to town and you talk to the fruit stand lady and then the hat person, and so there was so much socialization back then compared to now. But right now, like we could go and join some kind of a social club. That sounds weird, but it could be like you could do recreational soccer, recreational chess, recreational whatever. So you could do like a community garden, community book club. I guess that's
Like-
why people form these little clubs. But
Yeah,
like you
literally
could
every
do that if
activity
you
that
wanted
you
it.
could think of, there's a group for it.
Yes.
You know?
I agree.
I agree. Like I've only done a few of those. Like I did rec soccer and stuff like that.
You act like you didn't do jujitsu for like
True. True. Yeah.
Put hats.
Yeah, you can't get any closer than that, just hugging another dude, like feeling him up, everything. I felt every inch of those dudes.
Which one of
Every
you was
inch?
talking about?
Every inch.
Which one of you was
With at least
talking
one of my
about
body
fucking-
parts.
Which one of you was talking about putting on blankets for your chat GBT partner to feel a hug? Oh my god.
Oh, I was talking more of like what are
Oh,
physical
haptic,
haptic suits.
Haptic
Yes,
suits,
I was imagining haptic suit.
haptic feedback suits, where you can actually feel like when things are like hitting you and stuff like that, like a virtual.
Yes,
You know
yes.
this.
Yeah, that's the whole reason I don't use ChatGPT is because I can't give it a hug. If I can't
Yeah.
if I can't touch it, I want nothing to
Haptic
do with
suit
it.
would be good. Well, what I was talking about is the next solution. You know, they already have like realistic looking like sex dolls and stuff. So you know,
Have
now
you
you just needed to
seen-
talk to you, Fox.
Have you seen that robot lady who like had a conversation with people? And I can't remember. Oh my god, what was her name? And she was like creepy. She was very creepy.
So very lifelike and shit too.
I'm not okay with that. That's a line I feel we should not cross, but here we go.
Well, the problem with that is it looks almost real,
Mhm.
right? And that's where you get the uncanny valley effect.
Mhm.
And that's really what creeps you out. It's to the point where they look exactly like humans. Like there's no difference. And they have facial expressions that match normal human facial expressions. And they have thoughts that are complete and they talk in a fluid way. Once we have those changes, I think you're going to feel a little bit differently about, you know, those creatures.
I don't
Whatever you want
know.
to call them, robots.
Aside from aesthetics,
Mhm.
there's a lot more to a human that, like, the heartbeat, the warmth of the skin, pheromones, sweat, like they would really it would have to go beyond just aesthetics of like what it physically looks like. It would have to feel like a human too. And I think that would be really hard to replicate.
A heartbeat? I could
A heartbeat
replicate
would
that.
be easy. But it's more like the
Warmth of the skin?
smells,
Yeah,
pheromones
so
that like we don't really
pheromones.
understand. We don't even know if we can smell pheromones. Like we know that ants or whatever have pheromone receptors, but I don't think we know that humans do. We're just like a lot of assumptions are made there.
I mean, you can't smell humans' pheromones anyway because they hide that stuff with like perfume
Everything.
and
I got that
Axe
Axe
body
body
spray.
spray. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. If you can't even smell normal people's hormones anymore because people taking like showers every single like 10 minutes and fucking spraying that
It's-
shit on. Yeah.
I feel like a big
Yeah, I'm talking
issue
about
for
you
a lot of people.
guys.
I feel like, first of all, it's 3 showers a day.
That's wild.
But
Jeez.
I feel like
How do you have any oil left on your skin?
I don't. I'm not oily.
That's
But
how
I'm
you
not dry.
protect yourself.
But I'm not dry either.
Oils are good for your skin and hair.
My
Natural.
hair's fine. My hair's fine. I use shower caps.
Just stripping all the. Oh, okay.
No, I got shower caps. But I would feel like one of my big issues with the
important too,
robot would
though.
be like when you look at a person, you see a person like in their eyes. I would have a hard time connecting with a soulless
eyes.
creature.
Oh,
Yeah,
They're
the
saying that
eyes.
now until they get it so adaptable to the point where you can't even like change it. Like, what is a human's brain? It's
brain.
information being
Just
transferred to the rest of the body parts and stuff like that. But that's all it is. It's all it is chemicals and information,
Yeah.
right? Why can we not make a robot to the point of it's like the same levels of being a human?
In terms of the brain, that we're hundreds and hundreds and thousands of years away, I think, from being able to replicate a brain. Being able to maybe
think so.
use stem cells to create an eyeball, though, you could potentially put like an actual like lab grown eyeball on the robot. So like when you're looking into their eyes, it would be a real eyeball.
Okay, well, that
Be
was
real, but would it be like?
That's like, yeah, dude.
I mean, it would be real, but would it be like could you see a person? Because you can tell the difference of someone that's looking at you face to face that's alive. And I don't know if you've ever seen
Yeah.
someone that's passed away, but there's a huge, they're not there. That's like what it feels like when you're looking at this artificial shit. It's not, to me at least, I can tell that shit's not real and it would freak me out.
Well, it's a change in their eyes that look a little bit like they're not focused on you.
Yeah, it's
like
the
that's
dilation.
a focusing issue.
Yeah.
Like when somebody's looking at you and they're not focused, you can see it. You can see it in their eyes if they're just zoning out, right?
Yeah.
Like you're zoning out right now, aren't you? It's like, yeah, because like I can tell just by looking at your eyes. But I mean, that's like it's not too hard to. We already have like some artificial things that have like focus lens. Like you think about that, like those things focus based on how far away things are, and you can actually see a visual change in how the camera, like
Yeah.
the thing looks as it's adjusting to the focus.
Wally.
You said focus, and I'm just
But, like,
imagining this robot person doing like. Mm.
Dude.
You're just like,
I mean,
"Ah!"
we do it with our own eyes.
Yeah,
Our
but
eyes actually like do it
yeah, but
ourselves.
like
they
if I'm
adjust
looking
and
at
stuff.
somebody and they just like I'm out. I don't want just get away from me.
Oh my god, yeah.
We
Imagine
do it on a
you,
daily basis.
dude, imagine you get to the point where these things are like so human life and you start like doing dating apps and they have to you have to have a prefer like say I'm not a person like robot.
Oh my
You know,
God.
those things that people are
You gotta
like
turn off
like killing them.
filter on AI. Oh my god.
Yeah, AI.
It's. I mean, I think it's just going to be the equivalent of like a mail order bride, the AI edition. You know.
I hope I'm dead when all this shit happens. I really
Same.
do.
Mail order
I think
bride.
it's all so fucking cool.
I think it's super cool. I think it. I disagree with you when it comes to the brain. I think AI has put us leagues further in terms of creating a brain that functions maybe not like the same way as a brain, but like having information processed
Yeah.
and then having it do a function based on those things. I think we're pretty close to that.
Oh, we're not pretty close. I think we think has exploded in the way it works because of ChatGPT and natural language processing, but that's just them predicting what the next word will be based off of information that is fed into it. So if we have these AI girlfriends and friends, what data was fed into creating these models, these robots? Like, was it human conversations? Was it this podcast? Was it like, like the model is only as good as the data that's fed into it. And when it comes to generative AI, there was a huge breakthrough recently, but like, it's still really slow. In like, that field is still really slow. I think the brain is so much more advanced than anybody gives it credit. Like our brain is an AI model times 100, 1,000, a million.
I disagree.
You don't think so?
I think these AI brains are going to function way better than human brains eventually. And the fact that you're not going to lose information. You're not going to have any signs of degenerative things as you get older. And any information that goes in, it's not going to get lost. And like the communication style is going to be based on even more and more conversations as things go on. So it becomes more adaptable. And when you program what type of like personality trait you're going to be going off of, you're now going to have, instead of maybe the million we're going off now, you're going to have a trillion, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I think it has the potential to advance far beyond human brain power, but in some ways right now it's already far superior than brains, but only like in a very precise, super specific task. I think it will surpass us though in the future.
Oh yeah.
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 And I mean, I was gonna just comment on, they have a good point in that what we should not be referred to as AI. It is generative algorithm. Calling AI will be a detriment to the future sentient AI, which I could actually see like sentience existing for robots as we get further and further with artificial intelligence.
What is sentience? Now we're going back to my NeuraLink acid tub thing. Like sentience is just physical sensations going to a brain.
I thought sentience was the registering that you are alive and like you know that you exist within space.
But how is that created? That's
I was just
literally
going off the definition. Like I that's just what I thought sentience is.
Sentience is sensation. Consciousness.
Sure, that's the
I
breaking
think
apart of the
consciousness
world, but
is
what
more
does
self-awareness.
sentient as a definition actually mean?
All right, let's look it up.
I
Sentience. Sentience, in the most general sense, refers to the capacity for consciousness and the ability to experience feelings and sensations. So it's a combination of both of our things. It's
Okay.
both. It's the feelings and sensations, and it's consciousness. But like, regardless of what it means, our sentience is literally just a physical representation of electricity firing in
Mhm.
specific directions that triggers
chemicals.
different molecules. That's all it is. That's our thoughts
Yep.
right now.
So you're making more of an argument for me that AI is almost at to the level where they can replicate a human brain.
I don't think it's at that level, but I think it could definitely.
Yeah, and I was
Yeah.
thinking sooner rather than later, and you're saying super far away. Right?
I feel like you're very optimistic. I think I'm a little more pessimistic when it comes to how.
I
good
think
it
I might
is.
be a little bit more optimistic, but maybe that's because I'm looking at how things are going. And have you seen the chat models when it comes to the ones where you interact with another person?
Yes, but that's not. It's just predicting what the next word will be based off of the data that was fed into it.
Well,
it's not actually producing its own
it's
thoughts.
more than that, in that it's reacting to conversations that you're saying.
Based off, and but it's just predicting what its next word should be based off of the thing that you said.
That's what you do with your human brain.
But that's not sentient consciousness. That's not
Yeah,
feelings.
well, okay, I was off the consciousness thing. I was saying being
Oh.
able to function like a brain.
Oh, we got raided.
I guess.
Yes.
Hello, thank you for the raid,
Oh.
T-Dog. Appreciate you. Welcome in. We're doing a podcast, so we're not really interacting with chat too much at the moment, but thank you for the raid. Welcome in.
Yeah, we're talking about replacing women with AI.
God.
Oh my god.
You're gonna get me You're gonna get me all canceled.
Because what are women? They're meant for dishwashing. So we have dishwashers.
I can't.
So
fucking
we're not
can't.
included in that. We're not included in the sentient being. We're just dishwashers.
Yeah, just the dishwasher.
Jesus
We could
Christ.
never ever hope to be sentient, right?
I mean, look, it's on both sides. People say AI girlfriends because they think it's a funny term, but you can make AI boyfriends too.
I was thinking
down with an AI boyfriend. Fuck that shit, dude.
Well, think about a guy who's always emotionally available, never gets tired, and is like willing to like listen and respond to what you have to say.
Is that,
Okay,
that's
but, like,
what's lacking?
Sounds like a person.
But what about the like physical aspect of it? Like, I don't even
That's the question that we've been talking about, right?
So
like, you
just-
need your
I'm
robot,
saying, like-
and it needs to be really lifelike, and it has to have its own. Yeah, it has to have the heartbeat, it has to have the pheromones, all that different stuff.
I'm talking
Yeah,
about
but
like, am
it
I about
could
to
also-
be like
Yeah.
cracked open, bro? Like, I don't want that shit. You know what
Wait,
I
what?
mean?
Cracked open?
Oh,
Wait,
like
what?
it'll kill you?
Yeah, like it'll fucking kill you.
Okay,
Oh,
so
the robot?
so yeah, but you under the conditions like that you set for it. It's like that's a good point, right? Like so what problems like do like each group have with the other groups typically? Like yeah, nowadays it's really hard for guys to show their emotions around other people. And I'm not talking about the emotions you guys are thinking when I'm talking emotion. I'm not talking about crying and stuff. I feel like that's readily being more accepted nowadays. But guys' most used emotion that they have the most access to and when they're upset is anger. And that's seen as a toxic masculinity trait, right? So, I mean, that's one emotion you wouldn't have to deal with when dealing with your AI boyfriend because excess testosterone makes you angry. It's just what it does, you know? So,
Yeah, but like we keep saying you can program it, but like
Yeah.
that would require a really sophisticated understanding of computer engineering or software engineering. So
not
it's really
really.
going to be a software engineer is
So,
going to program
not
it for
exactly.
you.
Not at all, actually. In fact, you can do it now where in these AI dating sites where you can pick and choose the different types of personalities that you want in order to communicate with that person's type of personality. And it's already pre-designed. Not only that, but if you go into ChatGPT, you can actually all right, this is the scenario. This is who you are.
Yeah.
And I want you to give me this information like
True.
this
True.
type
True.
of person. So that's already there.
True.
Yeah. Yeah. How do you like my topic?
I knew
It's not as bad. I
called
thought it
it.
was gonna be worse.
No, I called it. I called this exact topic when we hopped in chat before this. He said she was scared of the topic. I was like, he's gonna bring up some fucking AI girlfriend doll.
He didn't know the topic.
Yeah, but I
He didn't know
called
the
it.
topic.
Yeah, but I called what it was going to be. I knew it. Oh my god, I was like fucking carbonic, and I knew you were gonna bring up Rayla. I knew it. I was like, this motherfucker.
And bring that up on
Didn't
stream.
bring it up. Yeah.
Oh, he did. Oh, he. Well,
No,
he brought it
Pete,
up
you were
on the
here.
stream. Yeah.
No, I mean he didn't bring
I
it up.
brought it up before the stream. I was joking.
Yeah.
I didn't bring up Rayla once.
That's you did bring it up. Yeah, you brought it up before stream, but like, I knew you were gonna talk. Yeah, I knew it. I knew where this was going.
Because you're already talking about it. I was just kind of like playing along with your thing. Then you guys started encroaching on my topic a little bit before we started. But yeah.
Everybody
I think,
uses it.
Yeah, I mean,
Yep.
I think it's the I sorry, continue.
So we're just gonna be growing wall babies. You know, I can't wait for that.
Bro, mine's gonna be in a tree. I'm making
Dude, wall baby. What? You're grow it in a tree. What the fuck's wrong with you? It just has a field of them. It's just growing out in the orchid. It's like, oh, this one's ripe, you know, like.
I go pick it.
Oh, this one's ready to
No,
hatch.
It's like Baby
Dude, that-
Leo. Just fucking
Possibly
crap.
a future thing.
Wait, did
Like
someone say
maybe those are
orchid?
like the future. Like, I said orchid.
Growing them in the orchid. Oh my.
You've made fun of me for this before.
Yes, I know.
But
Oh, I thought you were talking about. Okay, never mind.
No, like the orchid, like the orchid of. Oh my god.
anyway, completely viable. I think increasingly more of a market value for it as things go future on. In terms of like since like it's like been like 100 years. If you look at how many people are single nowadays, and I don't know. I hear the whole thing about the male loneliness epidemic. You know, I don't have that issue, so I don't really feel it myself. But I can imagine it would be really like frustrating not being able to like connect with another human being. Logical approach: have AI girlfriends. Already a thing.
Get a cat.
But the cat doesn't fill the same void there. You know, you can't
Speak
like
for
have the
yourself.
same conversation as a cat. If that cat filled your void, you wouldn't have found me. But yeah, like it's something that I can see increasingly more valuable as time goes on and people valuing their careers more than having a family even ever, you know? Like it's a lot more of a time commitment when you have to deal with an actual real human being. But if you had a caretaker, which is a robot, there you go, women replacement.
There you
The
go.
issues I can see with this is that the person that you're picking, like if you're programming it to look the best, like making it look beautiful, having the best personality, whatever. Imagine having a daughter, and that daughter is grown out of that perfect human being.
Oh.
That daughter is never going to be able to be at the level of this superhuman
Yeah.
that you've created. And think about the self-esteem issues that are going to occur from that.
True.
On both sides.
That's the biggest problem I can find. On both sides, yeah,
Yeah,
guys as
both
well.
sides,
The girls are gonna find, you know, like gonna make like some chiseled fucking like Hulk of a man, you know.
They're all gonna look like Venom.
They're gonna look like Venom, yeah.
Yeah.
He's literally just gonna have a Venom AI model, and that's just gonna be it.
Yeah, you'll make these, and you'll have a son, and they can't live up to whatever their dad is.
Yeah.
I'm
always
convinced
feel
that girls aren't
inadequate.
gonna have humans. They're just gonna be like these monsters.
I don't think guys are gonna have humans either. I think they're gonna be all these anime.
Oh no, Fox 100% is going to have a
swear
you
to
know, a
God.
fox girl as
anime pillow.
it's gonna be a fox girl.
For sure, you're gonna have all that type of stuff. Fuck that.
But
God,
yeah,
give me the
dude,
strength to continue on with this.
I thought you were gonna say, "Give me the strength to program her in the future."
No.
yeah, God, please bring me the fox woman.
And then ferociously like types in ChatGPT so you can start programming it now.
Fox is gonna get an AI girlfriend right now. It's gonna be a fox.
Before all of us, yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
I would be the first one. Okay.
I mean, we're
Okay.
married. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, but if you had, you're the one who brought this up.
I was thinking about you for this, Fox.
No, everyone else I'm pretty sure sees this as a problem.
Not the millions of people who are signed on to those AI like chatbots.
Dude,
yeah, those
I'm
those
okay
people.
with this.
You say those people, that's gonna be all of us one day. Not us, but all the
Not you
people
and
who
Key,
can't
you're not gonna have
find
wall
somebody else.
babies.
No, well,
We might have wall babies, but
Pet it.
keep
Gross.
them in a fucking cabinet. Oh, that's not the dishes. That's the sun.
Oh, God.
Dude, what the hell?
Oh,
The hell no.
The future.
Imagine you
But yeah,
forget to
that
hatch
was
it.
my
It's just
thing.
like it was ripe like 10 years ago. You're like, fuck, I forgot we put.
Oh, God. All right. Any more on the AI girlfriends or replacing women thing?
Placing whammons.
Oh my god. Why am I
Chats,
here?
anything interesting? Let's see. AI boyfriends won't gaslight you though. Throwing that out there. True. Actually, we did have that conversation earlier about you're getting rid of like toxic traits by having an AI version.
Dude,
Programming mind to bring in the money. Yeah, that's
true.
interesting.
Girl,
Could you?
I would too.
Wait, yeah, could I mean, if we're talking about sophisticated robots that could act as an actual life partner, then they should be able to like create a spreadsheet, right? Like ChatGPT is already very close. You need to guide it, but yeah, then now we're on to a different. I feel like that's a
AI
whole nother
replacing
discussion.
Jobs? That's already been like that's
Well,
gonna happen.
People say that in like a scary way, but I feel like it could become a thing. Like you were talking way before when we were talking about like, oh, everybody gets free, like agriculture is automated, everyone gets free food, blah blah blah. Like
AI is needed for automation. If we want to automate our lives to a point where we are no longer in a state where anybody is like hungry or like anything, like doesn't have any issues with any type of things, we need AI automation in that.
Yeah.
I think jobs eventually are going to be obsolete. Jobs in general. And people who work are going to work because they like working. And they can make a little bit of extra money. But like the baseline will be that you get all your resources that you need. You're going to have a nice place, whatever. All that's going to be taken care of. I could see it.
I could see it too. Of living would be
enjoying life,
hobbies,
having fun, just relaxing.
But yes, I see what you're saying though, Peach. People do work to live, or live to work, or
live to work.
One of those where working becomes the center of their life, and that's all they want to do for their entire life. And there's people who just work until they die. Like that's just what they want to do.
I think working is nice, but like in a moderation, like a small, like I would like to work for a long time, but just like a few hours a day. That's the ideal state. Like I'm not trying to work 8 hours every single fucking day or 12 hours, blah, blah, blah. Like, like a few hours, like I wouldn't mind. That would be nice.
It's like the same thing where we used to have people who like, we had a lot more people working the fields, and then we ended up with tractors.
Mm-hmm.
And that replaced a lot of jobs there. If we get to the point where we replace enough jobs that you no longer like need jobs, like what else is there, you know?
Yeah.
But I mean, everybody's going to be looking very negatively on this originally anyway, because it is going to take up people's jobs, right? It's going to take up jobs, and people need jobs right now. Jobs are necessary in today's society. But
Well, I feel like
in order to get to a future society where you don't need jobs, it's going to happen gradually.
I feel like the biggest problem with that is I feel like the jobs that are replaced first are the entry-level jobs, the jobs that are like, hey, I just graduated high school,
Yes.
let me work at McDonald's. That's the big issue with this, is all the entry-level jobs are immediately off the plate. There's no longer a need for someone to pick up the phone when you call, to make you a burger, to take your order, to do all the things that are just really simple. And that is a big problem, because that's a big portion of people, of humanity, and you take those jobs away, and you have 80% of the population is immediately without a job, and that's gonna be a big issue, I feel.
Yeah, but
I
like,
actually think it's going to replace more of the I actually think it's going to replace a lot more of the higher end jobs when it comes to software development and coding and stuff like that.
I don't think so. I think we could potentially see software development and coding as a like more advanced job, and I guess it is in that you like need more advanced education. But there's entry level coders and there's higher level coders, and those higher level coders are absolutely still going to be needed in order to guide the AI and tell it what its purpose is.
Until they aren't.
Okay,
Until
I mean, yeah,
there's enough
but like,
information in the system, like you were saying, to be able to fill in the blanks.
yeah, but like going back to like the whole entry level thing, people are going to have the foresight, at least in the near future, before everything becomes automated, no one needs a job. People are going to need to have the foresight to train entry level people, even though a robot could do it, because you're never going to be able to have the advanced people that are still required if an entry level person doesn't exist to become that advanced person in the future.
Yeah, and I mean, I could see a problem of we don't have those anymore. It's kind of like the thing with the iron lung, where all those people just kind of withered away and they're no longer there.
Yeah.
But like, I could see it in that they start replacing it, and then we don't have those higher level developmental people, and yeah, we do end up with problems, and I can definitely see that happening. Like, think about it. What does a doctor do? I'm not talking about surgeons. I'm talking about people who diagnose.
Oh yeah.
They're
Like,
literally
what is their job? Yeah, all you need to do is take a thing that takes all your symptoms,
Yeah.
and then it processes a list, and then with that list, it'll tell you exactly what you need to do in terms of like, oh, right, we're going to test for this by doing this, and we're going to see if this is the problem. And it'll like scratch something off his list and do,
yeah.
true.
what are we going to need, like, general doctors for anymore?
Yeah.
I
We're
mean,
still going to
obviously-
need research to continue learning new things about
Yes.
diseases that we haven't learned the answers for yet.
Yeah.
But maybe the AI will be doing that too. I don't
That's
know.
a higher level
I think
job,
they-
but... Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
No, you go.
Oh, I was gonna say I think jobs that like couldn't be replaced would be shit like lawyers. Like if we have these AI creatures who are supposed to be like quote unquote perfect or whatever, they're not committing crimes, it's people. So how would a AI represent a person and get, the jury to be on whatever side they needed to? They wouldn't have that. Realistically, they wouldn't have that emotional connection to be able to do that type of job, I feel like.
Well, I could see it being more like a logically based like court system. Like it would be completely automated in terms of like it's going to take all the information, it's going to and then it's going to create a verdict based on that information.
Yeah. It would actually might be better in that it's not
it
emotional.
actually might be better. It's going to be unbiased. Like you're going to have like camera footage of everything.
True.
Yeah. You can't pay them off, like.
Yeah. Well,
I actually heard a TED talk a few years ago of kind of similar to the court system, where you have an AI representing in the court system. In the future, it's also possible that rather than electing a president or electing people as representatives for us, we would have our own personal AI representative that like knows our values, knows what we care about, knows the pros and cons that we're willing to weigh. And it would be like every single human would have their own kind of like vote in a way. Like right now we need representatives because every single human cannot possibly have the time to vote on every single law that comes to pass. But an AI could. And so if you have an AI that represents you, it could be like personalized law making.
That would
I was
be
thinking about like in terms of like a president, if you had like an AI president,
AI president.
you go to the
no.
ballots and you put in all the
Oh,
things that you
no.
like and dislike, and it'll take a tally of everybody's information, and it'll create a system based off of the people's. That would be a true representative.
Yes, it would. Yes.
It would, yes, but oh my god. No, hell no.
Jesus.
The hacking potential.
Yep. But I
The
feel like
yes.
yeah, I feel like the first jobs to go are the bottom ones though, and that's the big like it's already happening around us.
Yes,
I mean,
yeah.
it's always happened, right?
Yeah.
Like it's always the bottom jobs that's gone every single time we've had an innovation, like cars,
Mhm.
like field work, like mining, like it's
Yeah.
all these jobs have been replaced because you can get a machine to do them.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly. But that is a to me because that's the biggest portion of the working force people are those jobs, and if they lose their jobs, I feel like we have a very angry society on our hands, and
So
that
the
could
Mhm.
be a problem. That could be a problem. Was all I was gonna say.
So the thing about that is, yes, those are low level jobs. So they should be replaced. And we should replace those jobs with higher level jobs that people can now get and maybe have more access to, and that they're a little bit more like, I don't know, like, oh, what's the thing that your dad always says? Like, this many jobs haven't even been created yet.
Oh,
What was that
like some
phrase?
number that he read somewhere where it's like 80% of jobs 20 years from now haven't even been created yet.
Yeah.
Or 80% of the jobs that will exist 20 years from now haven't even been created yet.
Yeah, there you go. I could not figure out the words to formulate for that.
That's honestly that's a good point, but I feel like the gap in between that and then is just gonna be a really bad time for people.
Yeah, it's gonna be a pain period for
Well,
sure.
Yes.
Because like we already haven't. Well, I think the number one American issue right now is the economic problem everyone is facing. No one can survive to live or live. Yeah, no one can. Like what's the? Oh my goodness, I can't think of the term I'm looking for. But no one can afford. Yeah, afford. No one can afford to live. No one can afford to live right now. Like most people are having to be in a roommate situation or something like that, or team up to afford. So you take away that, and I'm like, oh god, get your pitchforks.
I mean, if you were getting your income off of like McDonald's ordering stations, you probably were already not making enough money to survive.
Exactly.
To be
Yeah.
honest.
It also could be like there's a lot of things that play into it, but we've also gone away over time into a more independent, like each individual should have their own one bedroom apartment and they don't have any roommates. But like in the past, like people were living with their parents until they got married and then they had their own family. So like if we didn't have to pay rent, that's probably about a third of everyone's paycheck.
Well, the thing is
that you could just put in your pocket.
They got married early on.
They
got
get
married
married early on.
Like, girls got married when they're 18 because they had to get married, right? Like that was something that, in order for them to like survive, they had to like get married to.
Yeah.
And we had a lot more like divided roles when it came to that.
Yeah.
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 All right. I think today's discussion was really awesome. I am biased because this was my topic, but I do really like talking about this kind of stuff because of it's so nuanced, but it's also so imaginative and like, well, what if this and like, what if that and like, wow, what if this happens? So this is my jam.
I like
Thank
my
you
topic,
guys.
Yeah, it's good.
Like-
I liked everybody's topic, including yours. I like your. I think
Really?
AI
You like
girlfriends are
that?
cool. Yeah.
I'm surprised. Fox, what'd you think of my topic?
You can have an AI boyfriend too. It's okay. Let's replace men too. You know, like
Duh.
Yeah, absolutely. That was just to
I
like,
know.
like cause a stir.
Nope.
But yeah, it's to replace relationships in general.
yeah.
And Fox, we can get you a nice Fox
We
girlfriend.
can, yeah.
It's coming in the future. The technology is going to be there.
We got that list. We see you at the top. Don't you worry.
All right.
All right. Is it time for the topic selector?
Oh,
And
I
you guys
think it
better not
is.
rig it this time.
Yeah,
'Cause
you know
I
what,
know
then
it's actually.
you roll them.
Okay.
That's
No,
okay.
no, I know.
number number 1, Ultra Ball.
Yes.
Okay.
Number 2, Moon Ball.
Okay.
Number 3, Pokeball. And number 4, Premier Ball. Boop, boop.
I already lost the order. I don't even know what's
Number 4, Premier Ball.
That's all you remembered?
Number 4.
That's the
Premier
one that
Ball?
I'm voting for.
Okay.
You're not
do we wanna
voting,
Vote,
it's
or
a
do we want to roll a
dice roll.
Oh,
Dice-
you're right. It's a dice
Wanna
roll. Never
vote?
mind.
Dice roll. Dice roll. RNG it.
Okay. 2.
2,
2.
Moon Ball.
I just lost one of my goddamn dice, dude.
And the Moon Ball topic is, I can't get it out. Monetization in video games.
Finally.
Whose is that?
That's
That's
Fox's.
mine.
That's Fox's?
Yes,
That's
rigged.
finally.
Rigged.
What do you mean?
I saw him
be...
pick it out of his pocket.
You guys don't have to do it now. Finally, one of us.
I know, finally, dude. Although I don't know, I kind of liked hosting. It's pretty fun.
It ends up feeling the same.
For you? It feels different for me because I guide the conversation.
I feel like the last 2 weeks ago, you were like really like you had a clear order that you were following. For
Okay.
this one, I knew it was gonna be like we're all just gonna.
Yeah, for
throw
mine,
words
I
out.
tend to guide the conversation a lot more and like have more of like a discussion. Well, you created like a thing where we like all had like topics and then we all basically presented it in our own way. So we were
Yeah.
both like we're all basically in charge of our own little section.
Yeah, true.
So it was interesting.
Thank you.
Liked
Yeah,
it.
I have a newfound fear of vats of acid.
I already forgot the topic. What was it?
Monetization in video games.
Oh my god. Okay. That's actually a pretty good one.
Love
I can't-
EA Sports.
It's,
Yeah, we're not allowed to talk about it. All right.
I have so much I have to say about that shit.
All right.
Okay.
Today was fun.
Are we gonna raid out?
Yeah, Fox guide us somewhere.
What the?
Send us.
Send it.
Yeah, I should not choose. Anytime that I choose, I just
Oh,
send
shit.
this to somebody a
Someone who's
little.
already closed the
interesting.
stream.
I hope one of those people is here right now hearing you say that.
No, it's a hit or miss. Sometimes it's like really awesome, and then other times it's not as awesome.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
see. Well, if we want to take a safer route, we have like RG Brecker is streaming.
Seth is
Okay,
on.
send us anywhere. You get the final call, Fox. We're just gonna send it. We're gonna follow suit.
Strawberry Moon.
Just chill.
All right.
Strawberry Moon? Okay, Strawberry Moon it is. Where I
All
just
right.
had...
You send us. Can you send that in our chat as well?
Oh, I actually have that. I follow that person too.
All right.
Alright, let me know when
Red
you're-
Rover. We're ready.
Wait, no. 1 second.
Wait, you're not ready? Okay, Kiwa's not ready.
Okay, I am ready. To...
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay,
What?
I'll start the raid. Raid has been created. Anyone have a goodbye announcement
Alright.
for us? Host, maybe? Perhaps, perchance?
Oh, I hate the intro and conclusion.
All right, never mind. Have a good one, guys.
You heard it
Exactly. Let's just do that.
You heard it from Key. She hates all of us.
And that's all, folks.
That's all. You are hated.
I already gave my conclusion. Conclusion was this was the best topic in the entire world. No bias at all. Thank you, everybody.
Have a good one, guys. Thank you
Thanks
for
for
being
hanging
here. I know
out.
we don't
Yep.
really interact with you guys as much during this, so thank you guys for being here.
Yeah.
You guys
It was fun.
Thank
Don't have
you.
Peace.
Bye.
normal stream later. Bye.
All right. I'm going to press the button.
All right, press
All
the
right.
button.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, I'm just gonna.